Hi, everyone. We're going to play the game, and if you guys don't play, I'm going to sound like this for the rest of the cast. So if you don't play the game, whose voice is this? Just know it's going to get worse. The vibes are going to get rancid. So we're gonna go ahead and who's the second guest? You know him, you love him, but
hey guys, my name is Blake. Who am I? I'm going to be on the broadcast today.
It's Mickey Mouse. We didn't know how to tell you, but we got the Mr. Disney Mouse. No, that's another person, but I think you know who that was. And our third person, they're gonna talk any second, and you guys are gonna lose your mind.
I would get ready to lose your mind because it's David Copperfield here, coming at you to do some magic tricks while we play some Disney Lorcana. Get ready, get educated, and get rolling.
All right, so I
was really expecting like a get ready to rumble the way you started. I had to make sure I didn't do it in the exact tone since I think that's copyrighted.
Is it really copyrighted?
I think he sued. Yeah, he sued and won.
Yeah. You're going to jail. I'm so sorry.
Like he sued the WWF, I think, or something.
He sued. No, someone tried to use the "Are you ready to rumble?" and he sued and got it done. Yeah.
Really?
We were doing it in a form of
Parody.
Thank you. That was a parody.
Yeah,
remember?
It's trademarked in 1992. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Are you ready to rumble, humble, fumble?
Are you ready to quest with our lineup here? And they can see us. Hey!
Quest off.
Oh, we are here.
What is up? What is up? What is up?
What is up, Breezy? Good to see you again.
Nice
Good to see you again, Katie. Good to see you again, Luke.
Deep in the Google Workspace minds right now because I'm like, where's my money going? So if anybody wants a live updates of me and Mad, then you're gonna get it. But that's what we're here for. It's Wednesday. Can you believe it?
ICL on a Wednesday. Let's get it.
On a Wednesday.
Let's get loose and let's get active. You know what I'm saying? How's your guys' day been? Little weekend update. I haven't seen you guys in a while. We'll start with you, Luke. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm hyped up. I am hyped up. Do you know what tomorrow is?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh,
Switch day!
It is Switch 2 day. it's I'm going to become a Mario Kart professional streamer tomorrow.
Let's go.
So as soon as I get that in, we're plugging her in. We're putting the whatever that capture card thing is called. I think that's what it is. Plugging in. Gonna play. I'll have to order Nintendo Online so I can play, but I'm pretty sure Artivax is getting a Switch 2 as well. There's a whole bunch of cool Lorcana kids getting it that will have the Lorcana Mario Kart.
You know what, Luke? That was a trap. You're supposed to say I'm locked in. I'm laser focused on this World Championship that's coming up next month. Put the damn Switch away.
I just messaged the group. I was like, I'm taking tomorrow off.
You just walked right into a chainsaw, buddy. I don't want to hear no damn Mario Kart. You put that down. You need to lock in and get ready for this World Championship that's coming up in a few short weeks, Luke.
You're gonna be casting. You're gonna be casting Worlds, and I'm gonna like jump over a blue shell and a green or a red shell, and you'd be like, "Oh, he learned that from Nintendo. That was a Switch 2. Oh,
he learned from his Mario Kart days."
Yeah. It's super important to note that like Luke has been like, sorry, I can't respond to messages. I can't do anything because I'm so locked into Worlds. And he's like, just kidding, I'm locked out. It's time to get
tomorrow is not yesterday.
Tomorrow's a holiday
for
him,
true.
So it's fine.
Okay. So if you're streaming though all the time, we will unfortunately have to do an intervention. We'll call Maelstrom and say, hey guys, we got a problem here. He's Mario Karting. He's Mario Karting so hard.
I mean, just wait till Friday's post show is Mario Kart with the boys.
Ed hit me with the Ladoodoo's. First off, I'm not trying to win Worlds. Not on my radar. Not a problem.
Crazy.
Second, Ladoodoo's.
What's your beef with Laboobas, huh? What's up?
I forgot to check and see if they restocked. You guys continue.
That right there. That's the beef with Laboobas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm consuming the wrong thing.
I'm trying to get my hands on
consume Mario Kart and Lorcana, and then I can be back into good graces.
Exactly. All right. I'm glad you understand.
We have good vibes though, because tonight, how many games are left in this portion of the season? How many games are left in round 4?
I do believe it's today's and Friday's, and then we're cutting to top 8. and we should be coming back hopefully next Wednesday. Most of the team owners have kind of responded to that message. Obviously, Ed in chat has not because he hates me. And
Well, Ed's very busy because he waits to see when you're going live and he's like, oh, showtime. And that's kind of what he's doing. He's sitting in an empty room with just a computer that says live or not. And then live, he's like, it's showtime, baby.
It's time.
I'm
to harass.
assuming,
Wonder.
like a good Worlds competitor, he's playing that shall not be named in testing preparations while watching random videos on another monitor, because that's just the way of life.
I have
That's
one
it.
quick
It's the
aside,
grind.
and JDZ can probably add a little bit to the story. I did Super Sealed yesterday, and I'm still recovering. I don't know what a bomb is anymore. I don't even know what cards are.
It's Lorcana.
And so I am dying for Worlds to happen so you guys can start talking about this stupid format. 16 cards, 16 packs is too many cards. It's too many cards. I was like,
I felt like it wasn't enough cards, and
Yeah.
I'm actually honestly
100 plus cards, no?
After doing it, because you only get 3 colors, you're limited to 3 colors.
Maddie Miller. It is
So-
set 7 today and Friday.
So
keep going.
after actually doing it, I was like, man, this is going to be hard to broadcast. I think a lot of people might not be interested in watching it because it just didn't seem intriguing or compelling. It's gonna be really hard to add some allure to that format because I played it myself. I did the draft myself, and if I'm not a part of that experience, if I'm not a part of that process, it's going to be very difficult. And the players, I think, might be pissed because it's going to be a lot less fun than you're anticipating.
All right, JDZ.
I think
Limited
it's
is
too
just
many
such a fundamentals of card game in like knowledge expression in that sense. Like I know the
I'll get
super basic.
you
It
and
turns
just
out-
Brandon
expression.
and sorry, I'm cutting you off.
It's okay.
We're trying to have
It's
therapy right now, but yes.
fine.
I want to say it before I forget it. I'll try to get you, Liam, and Brandon together. I'll get you to sign an NDA, and Sailor and I will teach you everything you need to know about the sealed format so you can cast it properly for Worlds.
I mean, I think we have a pretty good working group. I'm not. I will gladly take the information, but I'm not worried about
he
that
thinks
portion.
Wow.
I'm saying like if we're
I
not
thought
a
you
part.
literally just said that.
He literally
No,
says, I don't
said-
need your knowledge.
No, I'm saying like if we're maybe if they stream the deck building process, like if I don't know what cards you have access
Yes.
to, or if someone comes in and just says like, hey, I'm just gonna put things on the board that you just can't answer because your card pool just didn't allow for that. It's going to be hard to say, okay, quest for two, and the game's over, and you just really don't have a counterplay. I think that might be a little bit difficult to get inside of the player's head if you don't know what they had access to and what their deck is constructed.
I'm
of. So
assuming you guys
that's
get
just
the
something I
deck
would
list,
think of.
no?
I would
Like-
assume, but
Well, you
I
get the
don't. Again,
deck
I don't
list,
know.
but what didn't you pick? I think because that was my thing. Is I thought my deck was good, and then I showed it to my husband. He's like, "Why didn't you include these cards?" And I said, I passed out. Passed out, and I hit my head real hard, and I
forgot.
woke up, and I had this 50 card deck. So I think like what they didn't pick is almost more interesting to me because I just
Yeah.
want to see one person panic, and that sounds so terrible, but like talking to like Bannable and like Ed in the chat and Luke are like, I actually super sealed just now. I'm super sealed building a deck as I'm talking to you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that was such an experience, and like I pulled too many good cards, and so then I was like, we're dead, everyone, chat, we're dead, and
Yeah, I would hope. I think that would be good coverage if they show the deck building process. I'm certain it will probably put somebody at a disadvantage to a certain extent, but just getting that information, I think, could have some good.
More interesting.
I
Definitely.
would
That hour.
be surprised if they did not let you at least look at the deck lists. I could see them not posting them, or if it's a couple hour delay or something, then posting it not like, oh, we're showing round 1's deck list as people are sitting down for round 3. Like if there's a 2-hour delay, that could make sense. Although I could understand them not wanting to do a delay because there's no way that there's not going to be some sort of leaks between players and their significant others.
Yeah.
Even if we're told not to tweet about it, like someone's going to find out. It won't be me breaking it because I don't break those things. Yeah,
Or just make the whole thing open deck list, man. Just make it an open deck list format.
I really hope they don't do open deck lists for the limited portion. I actually really don't like open deck lists at all. I believe it takes a lot of the ability to bluff out. It does. There is elements you can play to it. It does give a few extra things to it, but in general, I much prefer the skill diff of like having to not know what you're playing against, like having to mole in the blind. not knowing what they're doing. But it does make sense that in this conquest, it basically has to be open deck list. But they could have done it that you just have to show the ink combinations.
Show the colors and leave it closed.
Yeah, be like, I'm red,
Anyway.
purple, whatever, and whatever. And then they are like, well, I'm going to ban the red, purple one. But they don't know which red, purple, right? And that gives some crazy game plans for some archetypes. It's like, what if you are you have a Pete deck that's insane against red, blue, shark, but terrible against red, blue items, right? You don't know which version it is.
Now
Let's
you
be real.
yeah,
No one but Ed is bringing red, purple. That's
for sure.
So, like, it does do some things. But if you add open deck lists, all of a sudden, I'm going to play 4 one-ofs. Because now you might play around a card that I'm not going to draw, or you might not play around it if I only have 1 or 2 copies and then get blown out.
Yeah.
It has some elements to it that are interesting.
Well,
But... Yeah, well, we should probably
yeah. Well, it's that time. I just
It's
realized
that time you look at some player cards
people didn't
and
come
tell
here
you
to
about
listen to
them.
our-
Well,
or like,
well,
you know what's really
Who?
love- Oh, it's
Jeff Jones! That's who!
Oh,
baby.
That's who!
everybody knows Jeff Jones, of course.
Jeff Jones for the Inknights. Okay. Right on.
Yes.
All
Inknights.
right. 10
Not every Inknight is
store
from Nebraska,
championship
but some are.
rising. I can't read that last one.
Matt's
Finishes
on
with
match.
5 first place finishes. That's
Is this
not
a
bad.
Nebraskan? Is this a Nebraska?
No.
Oh. All
I
right.
thought you guys just knew. Like
There
I
is
thought it was
3
like a
Nebraskans on this team that I'm aware of, and that would be Jennifer, Steven, and Kirsty.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess not every Inknight. Are they out of Iowa? What's going on? There's more to come in the post game. How did you guys find these Nebraskans?
I think they're all Southern folk.
Well, that's confusing again. But
see that.
we are excited because Jeff Jones taught
Who?
me. Jeff Jones taught me
Who?
Jeff Jones is, and the answer is I'm still not 100% sure. It got weirder. It turned into like World of Warcraft, and I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I think he
I
was
had no
a
idea
streamer at
WoW
some
was
point.
involved with Mike Jones.
I think he's streaming something, and I said I don't know what I'm reading. Wiki help. So yeah, it's Jeff Jones.
All right.
Jeff
But
Jones
that's
is
a
gonna
pretty
own.
solid right swipe right there. I had to get it
I like
before
that you
the
tried it.
JDZ
You
could
gave
get
it
it.
You can
Give
take
it
it,
an
man.
old
You can take it.
spin
You can
around
take
the
it.
block.
Oh,
You
look
can
at that pose, man.
I like that pose,
Michael
man.
Beatty
Real.
has been a favorite.
Michael Beatty Bunks. That sounds like a very cool name.
Beatty
with a
Bunks.
very cool card with a
Beatty
very
boy.
cool pose. Looking strong. Look at those forearms, man. Look at that curl hanging there
That
too. Top
Vein?
16
Oh my goodness.
Hercules,
2K.
Hercules.
in set number 1. So going back to it, old school. Top 32 CCS 10K 5 and 6. So back to back top 32. Founding member of Team Inknight. Okay, he is a founding member. Is he the founder? Stay tuned to find out. Keep it locked.
No.
Don't touch that dial.
No. All right. Well.
Okay, unlock. He
Spoiler,
is not.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. He is not.
You know, sometimes you ask questions and you get an answer. But Breezy, who do we have here to round out the ink?
Mr.
Nice.
Chandler Church. He's about to preach that W.
I like
Get
that. That was
get
nice.
That top 8 CCS 2K at June 2024. I don't even know what format that is. The top of my head, and the 18th place at SSC 10K, and another founding member of that team, Inknights, with the beautiful logo on the shirt, looking incredible. Hands on the pockets. You swipe right, maybe
Oh,
swipe up for that super like.
Did you?
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Did you say you don't remember the June 2024 meta? You don't remember that month, the pain, the anguish that people went through in June 2024?
Blacked out.
Was
Honestly,
that red
most
purple
about
nightmare
That
time?
was well, that was Bucky. That's like the month
Oh.
Bucky got banned. I think he got the banned after Texas that month. They said never again, Bucky, go, and he like sadly walked out.
Damn. R.I.P. Bucky.
You hate to see it.
Bucky.
We hate to see him go,
I
but
think
you know
the
we love to
worst
see
thing
him walk
about
away.
Bucky, the worst thing about Bucky was that it made red blue even better. That's why it needed to be banned.
Rest in
It was
peace,
beating all the
Bucky.
decks that had a chance.
Yeah,
against
June
red blue.
2024 was Bucky. That's what I said. That's what I said, Ed. Because
Wow.
yeah, but then I also think it is kind of crazy to think that in the Texas room, everybody was like, "I have Bucky. I'm gonna win," and Ed said, "Guess what? I don't have Bucky.
Don't need it.
and I'm about to Bucky you up." That's
Hey.
crazy.
Was he on Sisu's?
I imagine
he just
Sisu
died.
in that one, or
Maybe he
I don't
dodged
remember.
Emerald Steel the entire day. Is that somehow he got?
He
through.
can educate us. If
That's
he so
true.
chooses.
He
Oh.
could, but it's Clara.
Clara.
JDZ, tell us everything we need to know.
Clara, the questing queen, out here getting loose, getting active, representing this 20LorePro team. Although they didn't have the season that they 20LorePro wanted, they're going to be 20LorePro finishing the drill. And Clara can get it done. Top 16 DLC Las Vegas. That's right. She qualified for the national tournament, getting loose, getting active, getting busy down there in Anaheim. Caster for multiple Disney Lorcana tournaments. I've shared the booth with Clara a few times. She's got some great insight, game knowledge. Going to be playing a little bit of aggro, maybe some spice. I'm excited to see what the Questing Queen is going to get out here and get loose with, get active. We are still in Arcadia's Island for this tournament, unfortunately. I'm done with it, Luke. We need to get over to Japan Bar. Stat.
So close.
But it is what it is. We're so close.
Lemon and lime. She loves it.
Maybe the dogs will come out today. Let's see them.
Dogs will come out if I had to guess.
Is that a good dog impression?
Sorry about that.
Our cats everywhere are like, what is going on over here?
Ed did confirm he did beat all the Bucky with Cece. Oh,
Let's go.
but this is a player that we're 90% sure is playing tonight. And you know him, you love him. He is the of the Hidden Leaf, but at Uchiha it's Sasuke or Niv. I don't know, Knife? Is it Niv? I guess I've always called him Sasuke. Either way, he ranks number 7 in North America. Katie, you spelled that wrong. Get it together. In the battle, I think it was because I was so freaked out by the next part of the sentence. I think I was so caught off by Legends of Runeterra and then Gwent that like I couldn't come back to the north. But he's diverse. He's playing all the games. He's playing a game inside a game. Insane, but amazing. Shout out to him at being very good at game inside a game.
Half man, half amazing.
Card game skill tends to correlate in other games.
Yeah, knock that off. You can be good at one. Like as a person, like people come in and be like,
good.
I've been good at like it'd be like saying like, oh, I'm really good at like one cuisine, and you're like, actually, I'm good at every cuisine. Nope, you get one. So I think we should have. You only get to be good at one, and if you're good at too many,
just stop. Forget about the card game.
Don't.
Forget the rules. Don't play the game anymore.
Yeah, don't. You can't like people who are like, oh, I play poker, but sometimes I play Lorcana. I'm like, you can't be a poker and a Lorcana person.
I mean, poker players have to do something in their free time.
Yeah.
We'll play more poker. Casinos are open all the time. There's no Lorcana casinos anyway. Last but definitely not least.
Rounding out the lineup, we got none other than Sir Ashtown. Looking good. Nice pose. Thumb is up. 20LorePro gear is on.
Swiping
Getting
right.
busy as well. We're right swiping for sure. He brought the spice last time. It did not work out. Maybe we can get that spice back at it again. I know he like to play some really cool, unique strategies out here, rocking the 20LorePro, repping the 20LorePro. Breezy, what do you know about Sir Ashtown and what he's trying to do today?
I've had to guess. The fanboy of Blurple is going to bring the Blurple in tonight. Show us, send it off Arcadia's Island with that Blurple love. Because we don't know, it's kind of an unknown where Blurple is in the next set, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Crazy.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens to it, and it might be a nice send off with a nice W from Mr. Sir Ashton, and a fantastic caster himself as well,
and just like a really nice person. Like,
yeah, look at that smile.
Whenever I hear him talk, I'm like, I think things are going to be okay. He's just got like
fan of Sir Ashton,
me,
for sure.
Me and JDZ will be like amped up, smashing foods and going blah, blah, and then he comes in like, "Hey everyone, it's Ashtown," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm calm."
A nice calming voice too.
It's like Stitch when Stitch gets the lay put on him, and he goes, "Ugh." That's how I feel when Sir Ashtown just drops his dulcet tones.
All right, well, it is that favorite time where we get to predict who's going to do what, and I don't know who's playing. I do if I thought about it, but I'm not going to think about it. I can see their playmat right now, and it is sick. So I'm thinking the Inknights.
It's fabric. It's going to be a cloth one then, based on what we just heard.
Inknights is taking the first game. I'm predicting just because of the playmat. So it's going to be tough. I normally go for the 3-0 knockout, but I've kind of had a caster's curse, so I don't know if I should actually root for someone. But we're going to go for playmat in the first round, and then 20 lore for round 2. And with the craziness in the air, I don't know how I want to vote. If J-Bomb has to step in, I'm going to go for 20 lore. But if J-Bomb's not here, I'm going to go for Inknights.
Can I tell you one quick piece of information? This will be so everybody can make an educated guess. J-Bomb did submit a deck list. Now, I need you to know, everybody else submitted a link. Everybody. But J-Bomb copy and pasted into the cell every single card. And I need to message him and say that's illegal behavior. But J-Bomb seems to be playing, but I've never seen that happen in my time at the ICL.
I'm not looking forward to looking at that spreadsheet.
I've never seen such a thing like that happen. I'm recovering, so if I'm sweating, it's because I'm like, what?
He's doing a really good job of living up to the meme that he's not very good at technology.
Really, I've never seen anything like that in all my life. So
He thought out the box.
I will say though that like because he's putting so much thought into not doing that right, then maybe it's because he's about to lock in. And I think 20LorePro, you know, they got to 20 lore in their pro, so I think they're gonna win 2-1. Inknights doesn't have enough Nebraskans on the lineup tonight, so unfortunately, that's gonna be sorry. There's no place like Nebraska, so get him out and bring him in.
I mean, yeah, there's no place like Nebraska, but that doesn't mean it's a good place.
That's actually on
the
side.
Tourism Bureau.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, our last motto was "It's not for everyone," which is truly sinister behavior.
That's so wild.
Yeah, they said, I don't know. If you don't like it, move on.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
that's fair. That's fair. Kind of.
Who's just jamming on a guitar lately? No one? Okay, I just hear someone gently tapping on a guitar, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and make my predictions. I think it's going to be a great match. I think both of these teams are going to come out to play. I think I got my velvet on. Yes, this is velvet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead. I got the purple on. Inknights are purple. I think we're going to go with the Inknights. I think they're going to take it down. It's going to be much, much closer. I think it's going to be I think they're all close. No blowout tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of 2-1s, and Inknights are going to barely cross the finish line at 2-1. It might even be a draw, but it's going to be very close. Inknights.
I'm changing mine to a draw. I'm predicting a draw.
That's amazing.
3 draw.
Wow, the whole night
1-1-1.
1-1-1.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I love that.
All right, so everyone here that like casting, 20LorePro has 3 casters on that team lineup, and I feel like as the caster union, I gotta go for 20LorePro to get that win, and Clara with the dogs taking the big old W as well, and extra parlay action if you want to do that.
Let's go. I'm down with a parlay. What's
W,
the
add Clara W in there 2-0 because the dogs will be barking like always, and 20LorePro will get that W because
parlay locked in from
they've
Breezy.
seen all the matchups, they've done it all, they're the best. That's why they're gonna win.
You say got Clara on dogs and a 2-0?
And a 2-0, yeah.
That's a huge parlay, dude. Locked in. You're locked in. Here we go. I like this. I like it.
The line's looking nice too. Get your bookies, whatever you need. But looking nice. But 20LorePro gets the dub, ends the season on a nice note.
Let's do it.
This keyboard ASMR is very relaxing. But yeah, it's time. We're locking in. I like it. I got a keyboard for my birthday, but I'm not typing currently. But round 1, so a couple of us are getting out of here. Some of us are staying here. You won't find out until after it happens. How does that feel? Are they ready? Is it time?
I'm ready. You're ready. I hope you guys
send you
at
the
home
list, Mr.
are
JD.
ready. And we have, like I said, I'm excited to see Bunks. I believe this is Bunks' whole situation. Their aesthetic is just very complete. I enjoy the whole situation they got going on over there. The tattoos, the eclectic dice, the mat, the sleeves, the outfit. Everything is looking right over there.
It is cloth.
Right.
I knew it.
From Bunks on this side of town. As
if you're
I'm looking over here, I'm ready. Luke, are you ready?
All
I'm
right,
locked in, laser focused.
All right.
Breezy, it was a pleasure.
J-Bomb's in here. I'm sorry about what I said,
pleasure.
J-Bomb. I didn't mean to make fun of you. Bye.
See you in an hour or so, Katie. Oh, and here we are.
Here we are, born to be kings. We are the princes of the universe. Nailed it. Luke, we're back. It's time. We got Michael, Beady Bunks versus Clara in round number 1. So I'm going to keep Breezy on his toes. He's got a uphill battle as Diablo is going to hit the board. And just like that,
Lemon lime, apparently. I called it.
It's lemon lime, but it's not dogs, though. That doesn't look like dogs. I think Breezy just lost his parlay right there on round number 1. I hate to see it.
I wonder if she's playing 0 to hero. I think she did before. I know some people like to do a 0 to hero Clarabelle. It lowers your hand size. It gets the Clarabelle out a little bit sooner. It's a lot of 1-drops. It might be kind of difficult for Beady to deal with them. And he did ink an Amethyst Diablo. So this is the Amethyst Emerald variation of discard.
No, absolutely. I think that deck is really solid in set 7. I think it's actually going to still be quite good going into set 8 when you add those lever cards and maybe you can put some of the Yzma stuff in there. I think that deck is going to still be a contender going on into Reign of Jafar, as we are going to kick the Hypnotize for a little bit of shift into the Diablo. I like that dynamic shift from Beady Bunks as he put that thing down with a little bit of aggression.
Oh,
combinations coming together.
Hoo-wee!
Yo, I like the way BD plays. I like the tenacity, the way the cards are moving.
Just have
I
it
think,
all.
yeah, the aesthetic, like the way that the cards are being exerted and the way they are being played. It seems like it's a lot of
I don't
movement there.
I don't like the leave the one underneath readied. I
Yeah,
don't care for that. I guess
you're
it's
not
a
a fan.
way to signify which one shifted on,
Hmm.
but
I
it
think, I think,
reminds me of
yeah.
people who wouldn't tap their creature enchantments in Magic, and that's just like, come on, bro.
Mm,
It's on the
just
card. It taps with everything else. It exerts with everything else. It's part of it. I would even argue that it's against the rules.
yeah. I mean, just picking up both cards might be a little cumbersome too, as we got a vigorous hand shuffling happening there. As Clarabelle is going to find her way into the Inkwell, followed by the double one drop on two. Just really trying to maybe potentially put some aggro going with Clara as she is contemplating on sending this Daisy. You will potentially lose this Daisy here, as maybe potentially staying ready could be the play for Clara, who has
Yeah.
Clarabelle in the deck. Thoughts? Things
Yeah,
interesting.
taking a turn off is okay. The problem is if both of these characters charge into Daisy to take it out, he has no heals, right?
Hmm.
So they would then trade the next turn, but they just can team up on the Nala and leave the other Daisy to continue to feed it. It
Yeah.
really just depends on how much pressure BD's going to be under here. But he could also play Peter Pan here, would be insanely good as well.
For sure. And we don't take that approach. It seems like we are going to elect to just simply quest, maybe taking your approach a little bit, just continue to raise the opposition, potentially setting up for the Peter Pan Iago in future turns. But the
Oh,
Madam
here we
Fox
go.
is just as big. Look at that Fox coming in, being able to clear this Daisy rather easily.
See,
And you
that
have
makes
the
a
answer
lot
to the
more
null as well.
sense with the questing, right?
Hmm.
Although, honestly, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that play. I think I might have actually sent both of them into it, maybe played a different 3-drop, assuming there's a different 3-drop or 2-drop, and then next turn we can send the damaged 2 characters into the Nala, fox it back, and take care of the other Daisy while maintaining characters in play. This does take one of our threats away from the board. Whether or not that matters, well, it's hard to say, but we can't answer both the Nala and the Daisy without a crab. Or, I mean, maybe he just has crabs and Peter Pans,
For
and it
sure.
doesn't matter. He's just going to bunk all over his opponent, and it doesn't matter what Clara does.
And we did see an Elsa go down to the Inkwell earlier, so maybe he's got more copies of that type of effect in the hand. As we're gonna, it seems like we're gearing up for another quest with this Daisy Duck, who's just gonna find her way into the Watery Tomb, and the Iago is gonna be added to the hand. So this is looking all aces for Mr. BD Bunks, Michael BD Bunks, as Clara's continue to aggressively quest. We have the Clarabelle. I like that card a little bit. Did get a chance to get a draw in to help bolster your hand a little bit, but I don't know if that's just going to be good enough, as Fox is going to go and feast cleanly on probably that knowledge, just taking it down, no issue,
I
or the
think
Daisy, excuse me.
we need to stop that lore gain right now.
Mhm.
Plus the we know the cow could be shifting in 2 turns, so we do have to kind of watch our hand in a way. Well, that's not watching it, but it is answering all of the characters. So yeah, I don't know. I still think I would have liked doing it the other turn as well, but really it depends. Like if we had no other 3s or 2s, it does get us in that kind of rough situation.
For sure. And you are checking the hand again. So you do see that shift Clarabelle and Rapunzel, followed by the Go-Go and the Daisy Duck. I think that you are hoping, if you are Michael BD Bunks, that you're hanging on to this Elsa in hand. You inked one much early on. And if you can ink this Clarabelle and just clear it pretty before you're able to set this shift up, I think you're going to just be on your way. As it's going to be an interesting 5th turn coming in, as 4 ink are getting down. I think he might just have to go all in on this Clarabelle play and just flood the board one final time and hope the Clarabelle can, in fact, resolve. And you will miss the Elsa coming in next turn. So there's the 2. Go-Go's in. We probably just send the 1. Send in the Daisy Duck as well, staring down. And now you have to hope. You have to get a bit lucky here if you are Clara, to hope that this Clarabelle is going to be good enough. If it is, you can seem to claw right back into this game if you can get this shift to go off without a hitch. But if there is an Elsa here, I think this game might be out of reach. Luke, what do you think?
Well, it's definitely gonna be rough. It's gonna take out probably the go-go. It's hard to say. And I guess we do need to take out the cow. You're right.
Mhm.
And then stays around as a threat for the go-go to prevent it from profitably
Absolutely.
questing. But the go-go does kind of make our Diablo not do much. So depending on what my hand is, if I had, depending on how many cards I had in hand, Clara has 3 cards in hand, I think.
I think it's
Maybe
2. I think it's
2.
one is Clarabelle and
Just
one is
2.
Rapunzel. But when you go to draw, you will be
Okay.
at 3. Oh, and there's the Elsa right on time. So just the card you needed. A little bit of a thinking there before making this
Yeah,
play.
this is fine. I think he basically was doing the same thing I am, where he's like, oh, I want to draw cards on my Diablo. But realistically, I think we needed to get rid of the other thing. And then just allow the trade of Diablos. And just assume that with them having a giant Clarabelle and a Rapunzel, that we can win from this spot. Because we'd have an exerted fox that the Daisy can't gain lore off of.
Maybe they're banking on a Bruno or something, but I would have been so greedy on that Clarabelle to break up the shift line, because just giving up so much advantage right now and getting Clara back into this game, I think that's a gamble that I just would not be brave enough to take, because your opponent now you're holding 6, so you're giving up basically 6 cards, Luke. I think in this situation, and Daisy could potentially give you a 7th here, as it will reveal another Diablo added to the hand, and now this shift Clarabelle is looking so good that you
Well,
almost
I
just
mean,
have to do it.
you do also draw a bunch of cards as well. The issue is that Bunks's deck is the discard deck, right? He's the control player at the moment.
Mhm.
And if Clara refills her hand with like a bunch of cards and drops like 8 lore into play next turn, she might be able to win the game.
Right.
Which is why we probably needed to take out the small Clarabelle and then draw the extra card off the Diablo. It's highly unlikely that Rapunzel's going to have a target. We already knew it was in her hand from the start of the game. She just drew 5 cards. We go up to 11 cards. I mean, we have to draw here, right? We have the Elsa in play, so we can sing Don't Talk About Bruno. Maybe he had the Bruno already and just wanted 11 cards.
Did he not draw off the Diablo triggers?
I hope so.
Oh man, that'd be a huge oversight if you didn't, because the hand is still looking like you're holding on to that same original 6, as that is a severe punish if you did not. That's a missed opportunity, because you could at least made a good situation out of a bad one, as the Shadow Finder is going to be deployed now, and you will be able to double up onto this Daisy Duck. But I still don't think you have a nice equitable way to remove this Clarabelle off the board. And if she can get another turn with this Clarabelle and hit you with a nice big flood and then deploy, I think that's going to be really, really problematic for you. As for Lore getting on into the Daisy, we'll get a clear.
It's got to be Bruno on cow here.
I don't think you have enough ink to afford it after making that Peter Pan play.
You sing with Elsa.
Oh, you can sing with Elsa. That's right. Okay. So I think that's what's got to happen, as another Diablo is being deployed.
Does it? I guess. A really rough way to do it, but if you want to send 3 characters into it and then quest for 2, that's a reasonable-ish thing to do. Do we have improvise to save our Diablo? OBS Studio disconnected.
Oh dang! Hope not. Uh-oh.
Well, let's see. It doesn't look like I'm not live. I don't know. It just popped up that.
Okay. I hopefully it's not on my end. Is it on me?
I had like a notification pop up on my screen that said OBS disconnected.
Oh, because I'm looking. I'll just check the stream. The stream looks like it's doing some weird laggage right now. Stream froze.
Stream froze. All right, hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey, 1 second. I think my stream went down. So we're gonna restart real quick.
Okay. Check that encoder, man. Make sure that encoder's dumped. I feel it, and we're back. Yo, just like that. Just like you drew it up.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I don't know
Very
what
nice.
that was.
All right. Just a little power surge. Thank you to the players for staying a little bit patient. If you guys missed, I believe that the Clarabelle was challenged. I want to say no, it was Bruno. I looked away for a brief moment. I can't remember exactly what happened to the Clarabelle. I think it was challenged and traded
I'm
into.
assuming it was an improvise, like we called, because the Diablo and the Peter Pan are gone, and that's what he was exerting one thing. But as I said, Clara could do something crazy here. Oh, what's going on? I just realized the lore is gone.
And just play a bunch of low cost characters as you'll still continue to flood the board. We have a Chernabog. Where did he come from? Look at this guy. Is that Velvet? Look at this guy. Chernabog onto the field of play early. Granted, he is very Brunoable. And I'm telling you right now, there's not that many characters in this game. Like most characters, they get hit with Bruno. I don't mind as much, especially if I have cards in my hand. Chernabog is not one of those guys because once you get him sent back, it's going to be very difficult to get him back out for a reduced cost. So I'm trying to figure out a way, if you have the cards in your deck, to remove this Elsa. So at least Michael BD Bunk's going to have to pay full retail value for it. But this is looking okay adjacent. If this Chernabog can live, if you can somehow manage to avoid being Bruno'd here, you can be all right.
I mean, it does look like Beatty did not draw 5 cards when Clara drew off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They didn't.
Oh,
No, they didn't.
Maybe. That's a lot of cards still. Like he looked at 5 and still had. Oh, there's the improvise.
Just for the shift on the Diablo. No, I think because he's been drawn with Diablos as well. I don't think they did inherit the Bruno. Almost immediately. Bruno is going to send that Chernabog back to hand. And honestly, the best case scenario is just getting that Chernabog discarded here if you can hit it. Because leaving it in your hand is literally just going to be a big old 10 cost uninkable brick for the next foreseeable future. 4 cards for Clarabelle. Or Clara.
Okay. I don't think Bunks had it. He only has 4 cards left, so I don't think he drew that extra 5. I think that was something he missed there.
For sure. It does happen. On these webcam games.
I've done it myself. I've done it in real life for sure.
Like,
not throwing shade because it is a mistake. Everyone can make it. It's just really unfortunate because it is a gigantic step back and can cost you the game on the spot.
And actually, it's one of those things on webcam. I guarantee you don't make that mistake as much in real life, especially. But on webcam, you're going to make it a lot more often. Because Clarabelle in phase ability, it's kind of it's a rare instance where that effect doesn't happen just much. And you're going to kick the Pegasus as well. So keeping the Chernabog on the Hypnotize, what do you think about that? It's maybe you're trying to see if you can get this thing back down relatively cheap. If you can lose the Merfolk in the Nala.
This is an interesting race scenario. We get to go to 14 for Clara, but then we're losing our board, right? So we have to put 6 lore in play and hope our opponent doesn't have another Bruno or Elsa. But only 2 cards in hand. About to go to 4 if Bunks remembers. There we go.
We go. Got the double Diablos to go off this time, and I think Clarabelle might. I keep calling Clarabelle Clarabelle, and I need to stop, dude. I need to wake up and get loose. As Cricky down. Look at that. So Cricky throwing onto the Nala is going to be able, and the Daisy Duck as well.
Short. It's 1 short though.
And we're just getting a quest for 5. I don't know. Maybe you got. If
Bunks plays a 2 lore threat, he wins the game. Because he gets to just wipe the board and quest with Genie. And then if he played a 2 lore threat, he has Lorthal.
I don't know. You gotta be careful though. The Clara's sitting at 14. Maybe there's a Donald Duck line available.
That is true.
That card does exist in his deck. It could come off the Tizzy. We know that's Chernabog.
I mean, if we have an answer to the Cricky, we definitely play it.
Yeah, there it is. Another Bruno, as Clarabelle has to be hating to see that, as 2 more cards are going to get selected. Let's see if she elects to keep this Chernabog again. She might be still greeting this Chernabog. She kept it last time.
Imagine if she's...
there it is. He is hit.
Imagine if he's saying Under the Sea right here.
Oh, my goodness. Does his deck play that card? I've seen it happen.
I don't know. but it'd been hilarious. I've seen blue. I've seen Emerald Steel play 1 or 2 before as well. In these Diablo decks, sure, it's just another card to discard.
Yep.
And if you can use it, it's real good. Our
It's
own
your own
cricket.
cricket. Yeah.
Cricket.
So this is looking all roses here. We'll take a little bit more lore off the board. You have to clear 2 more. You get these merfolks have to go, I would assume. They have to get off the board right now. You have to lose some cards in the process.
Not our hand. No.
You'll get them back, I'm assuming, as 2 cards being discarded. It's the crab and 1 more. I think this is looking pretty good for Michael Beatty Bunks. Really contemplating what these next discards going to be.
Yeah, it's looking quite rough for Clara here for sure.
Maybe you're gonna might greed up and not even go after this cursed merfolk, as Hypnotize is going to come down.
That's
Dang, so
rough.
getting the other Cricky.
This is why we waited, because we needed to get rid of the Hypnotize.
Mm-hmm.
Or we wanted to Hypnotize.
And then we'll get that final quest in for 2 for Genie. And Claire's going to need an absolute miracle. I don't know what card you could possibly get. I know that the Wendy Deer. What's her name? Dear Mom.
Darling?
Not Wendy Darling. What's her name? In set 8, Range Jafar, the dog mom. Quest for 2, add 2 to someone. What's her name?
She's a 5-cost 4/4 quest for 2, and she gives 2 to something else. It's Darling.
Darling Deer.
Darling. I think it's just Darling.
Is it? It's John Deere. John Darling. Just Darling
Deer, maybe.
Is it Darling Deer? Darling Deer. Okay. See, we were close. We were getting there. I nailed it.
I think the French version just says Darling. Because I feel like I just saw Sailor open one of these up. And Michael takes that first one.
Mm-hmm. Got it done. And I think some plays were left on the table. I think we really want to accept those draws next time, but still taking nothing away from Michael. Also, I think just getting that Clarabelle out a little bit sooner, not even letting your opponent get the chance to get those extra draws in, I think could have been some value there too. But Claire, I think, played it as well as she could. Did her very, very best, but now we're going to see if she can turn the tide. She's going to be going first this time. I think she was on the draw last time as well, or on the play last time. I can't recall. I can't remember.
I do not remember.
Well, she's definitely going to be on the play this time. Trying to. Do you think she just keep that same game plan? I don't know about just sitting all the ones in, exerting into face of these amethyst cards with all the challenging and all of the foxes and the Elsas and the crabs. It might be worth just letting those characters sit up on the board for a while, and then maybe you can set up the 1 to 2 turn double tap OTK like the dog players can do. I don't know. I think that might be a good way to approach. But then you'll run headlong into the Elsa exert plays. I think that's something you also have to kind of think about as well. So a lot of things that can go into this matchup, as we have 2 Emerald players, one with Amethyst, one with Amber. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Who do you think is the favorite in this matchup, typically? All right. Very cool.
I was like doing something else. You asked me a question. I look forward, have to think for half a second. I'm assuming Bunks is quite favored. He has Fox, which can one-shot a lot of things. He has Crab with the little things. It's quite easy for him to regain control. Clara really kind of did what she needed to do. She got an early cow, and then she drew a bunch of cards and tried to push over. Had that last turn, instead of Nala been another 2-quester, or 2 2-questers, she might have had that game.
For sure.
But Bunks got to the point where he had too many cards. It was like his game, he had to not draw Elsa's and Bruno's, and he drew both of them and used them back to back, right?
Yeah.
Like she played 7 lore, 8 lore in one turn there, but it was answered with the Bruno, and then she quests, and then they're all challenged down, and then another Bruno takes her other threat out. So like Bunks at that point needs to be playing a Bruno or an Elsa answering the big threats, and then letting a couple small ones get through. And Claire just like, she had a couple mid-ish turns in the middle of that game.
Yeah, and that's how it goes. But in other news, Breezy's parlay is just completely in shambles. It is out the window, Breezy. So watch your back. The mobsters might be coming for you. So keep it locked. The door, that is, and definitely touch that down. Get away from it as fast as you can because your parlay is in shambles.
I mean,
big
he
dog.
should have listened. I said the playmat was going to win the first game, the first match.
That would have been a good
I mean,
one.
we could say maybe I said first game on accident, and I've already fulfilled my prophecy, and Claire will be able to do a 2-0 comeback.
We'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen in Disney Lorcana as we're still getting the deck shuffled up, as we still have about 38 minutes left in round number 1, so plenty of time to potentially play a third game if needed. Michael BD Bonks is probably trying to wrap this thing up in a solid 2, and Clara is not going to be denied. I'm a bit fatigued. I've been moving all week, having a hard time with that. Okay, moving is one of the dumbest things we can do as a species. I think it's so dumb, but you got to do it sometime, from time to time. Having a bad time with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get the cuts are complete. I like the aesthetic. I like the nail
This
polish.
mat is sick.
The nail polish, the mats, the whole thing. It's team coordinated. I think it feels very complete. I like the tenacity as well. We got a nice little hand movements there as Claire is going to ink the Nala for the 1 and play the Pegasus for the 1. So maybe this Pegasus, I don't know about this Pegasus matchup. If anything,
Yeah,
I think this is the matchup where I hate
2
Pegasus.
lore maybe. There's a world that Shift Pegasus comes down on 3, eats a Diablo. But now Pegasus can't even quest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
so
there's the
we
ship
had the-
Pegasus. There he is, the Pegasus Fast Flyer, I believe. Nope. Yep,
This
Fast
is
Flyer.
not a terrible start for Clara. She gets to play the Piglet, and then on turn 3 gets to kit back the shifted Diablo or whatever like 2 lore threat Diablo that is played, and then we get a quest with just the Piglet. And if Bunks wants to shift a Diablo to trade or play an improvise on the Diablo, maybe, but that like sets him back a whole lot. Not having the shifted Diablo in play doing stuff.
Dang. Okay. So I think you're correct. I think that Clara cannot even afford to exert this Diablo just in case, or excuse me, exert. We're going to bring it in early here. Just trying.
Well, he gets 1 turn, right? He could have. What did she have in her hand? I think
it was a go-go.
Thought that she had more ink than she did. Because wait, did she not ink on turn 2?
No, this is.
Oh, he did that on
turn.
turn 1. He did it on turn 1. That makes way more sense. Then he was playing around a top deck Ursula, but that doesn't even work because
it won't take the improvise. It's an action. I think he could have kept it. Maybe he could have got a plus on this Pegasus had she quested, but I think he just wanted to get it down. Maybe get a somewhat of a draw in, or maybe get a discard singing the hypnotize, or singing the sudden chill to take 1 from the hand. But now you're kind of walking right into a shift knockout unless you got some type of hidden cove type beat, as you'll kick the Curse Merfolk out to the discard pile. This is an interesting maneuver coming in from Michael BD Bonks. We have to ask him about this one going into the post-game assessment.
Wow.
And we're passing right there. Yeah, so now this ship Pegasus on 3 can come on in and knock this Diablo right on out of the park and make this Piglet evasive as well. But we don't play it. Interesting. Man, these are some turns as we go for 3 ink.
Going on. I don't think that lore was that relevant.
Yeah,
I mean, we get the extra quest. So if we challenged, we quest for 1, and we don't even quest for 1. We just challenge and pass. And then what do you do? Peter Pan challenge the Pegasus. And the next turn, we play the kit, bounce back to Peter Pan, quest for 5. They play Peter Pan, trade with, or hit Piglet, maybe. It's interesting. Like, we still get hurt by the Peter Pan. And if Michael has the Peter Pan, he definitely should be playing it this turn.
Yeah.
As it deals with so much.
And it is that Diablo again, so we are going to start
another
over. We got
one.
another Pegasus. We got a second Pegasus. So just maybe keeping that in reserve as an answer for that Diablo to come back, or maybe you just blast it now. so you can get that lore train rolling. I think that could be
It's kind of
a decent play.
A weak turn 3. Imagine another kit came down here. I mean, then a fox might do something, but I would still like kitting this Diablo now feels dirty.
I think you just put that Cloud Racer in and just go ahead or Gift for her, not Gift for her, Cloud Racer. I think it's his name. I have to check it out again. My card reader is not working yet, but I'll get that fixed. And just start questing. Make your whole board evasive. Just take what you can right now, and then have the answer for Diablo already up. Or maybe she's thinking that if you go Cloud, this Kit Cloud Kicker, the tough guy, and he got Pegasus Cloud Racer, I believe. And there is another kit. There was a second kit. Wow. So just like that, we are going to go ahead and get exerted right there. That's a lot of lore getting added to the board. Piglet going for 3. So that's a 5-piece coming your way. Clarabelle's on her way. Clara's on her way. Sorry.
Now,
Cloud Chaser.
Now Fox gets to do some work, but we do get to shift the Pegasus and then quest for 4 to 13. And then the Fox doesn't do anything because it can't challenge that turn and it's going to have to wait another turn. But if Michael does not have the Fox or the Peter Pan, he is in a world of pain.
I concur with that sentiment highly. So you just really got to figure out a way to start clearing some of these characters off the board. I'd be interested to see what's in Michael's hand at this moment, because this sequence has been kind of, I don't know. It just seemed like you had a struggling start from the whole beginning as Diablo's coming down for the 3rd time. You see these same 2 tired cards again. You got to make something else happen here this turn.
If we're just so much tempo loss. Another Diablo here, there's the Fox, so we must have a Fox, right? Like, yeah.
And Fox will go ahead and take that 3 lore questing, Pooh Piglet Pirate on off the board. You will open up another shift line. Maybe she'll shift this time and get another 5 coming your way, or excuse me, 4.
Well, I can think of a perfect gift for Jen to get Bunks, a bag of dice that you can see. All those dice on the table, and almost, I think 1 or 2 of them are actually easily to read.
That's pretty good. I like the orange one. That orange one looks cool. It's kind of popping. That pink one's pretty neat. The black and white
really
one
read
there.
What's on the pink one?
It looks cool though. I think is that a 1?
I guess a few of those dice work to see, but not the one he grabbed.
It's
like
that black and white one is
into
actually quite nice,
face.
and it kind of matches the whole aesthetic as well. All right, so let's see if she's finally going to shift. Will it happen? Clarabelle, Wallflower, Darling Wallflower, Daring Wallflower. Man, I'm so bad. I've been studying too. You would never. I'm fatigued. Okay, we're blaming fatigue, but I have been studying. She's a Wallflower. She's something boring Wallflower. It's not boring Wallflower, is it? And there is finally the shift. So now all the characters are going to be evasive. We'll get a nice heavy quest in, going all the way up to 13. Clara putting the pressure on Michael Beatty Bunks, who needs to make something happen. You put 1 Fox to the Inkwell last time. Will you play the Diablo again? Or the
Peter Pan Shadow
time?
Finder, or the 4-drop one. The 4-drop Peter Pan to give the Fox evasive, take down the opposing Pegasus and one of the kits would be insane.
That would be nice. But they don't have it. I think that card is quite playable as we ink the Ursula for a Diablo again, the 4th installment. And it is the dogs. Oh man, so maybe
That's
the parlay is back.
Only costs 4.
Yeah, he's gonna be
She
out here next
thought
turn.
about playing it, it looks like, but I think she made the correct choice in not playing it there.
What do you think about playing a dog with only no cards in hand? You got to have at least 1, right?
Well, she'll play it next turn. Probably keep something big or a good threat. But she could have played it last turn, but then like she gets no value because she needs to keep that Pegasus shift line. So it's better to do it this route.
Oh, but now
we're just doing it for no value, I guess.
Send it. Just send them right
to it. Could hit Lilo's, and it makes a top deck to Chernobog good, right? So like, there's no reason to. You definitely do it, right?
Oh, she's just putting the pressure on anyway. It's a 2 lore quester.
No way to answer the 2 readied ones.
And BD Bunks is going to just go ahead and take it right on to Scoop City, and we got a game 3. Just like we said, it's a game 3. Claire turned this thing around, hit the gas pedal, came out early, and just ran through with all the heavy questing characters. But I'm looking back at that
Riffle
initial
shuffling the deck
Diablo.
full of foils.
I'm looking back at that initial Diablo gambit that Michael took. What do you think about that approach? Do you think that was the way to go, or do you think they were just trying to risk it for the biscuit, get what kind of value you could, and just go for it? Because I know sometimes that's a strategy as well. What do you think about that?
I don't think. I mean, I would have shifted, but I don't think I would have done it the first turn, because who knows what I could draw. Unless I was really afraid of an Ursula 2, but I would have then discarded the discard. So it's possible that he accidentally discarded the wrong card. And then Clara didn't have the Ursula anyways. But I think the Improvise is way better of a card in this matchup than the Sudden Chill is, right? Like, unless you're playing that Sudden Chill to hit her last card, which is probably a Chernabog, like, it's just not good enough. Whereas in, you know, that Improvise makes your 2-drop Diablo eat a 4-butt, which is all over Clara's deck. Like, she just has all of the big willpower, and you need that extra 1 from the Improvise to get there.
Right. Yeah, I think the shift might have been a little too hasty, especially after you saw that the Cloud Racer was in hand, and you saw that they had the 1 cost in hand. Maybe there's a world where she would have exerted the 1 cost Pegasus, and then you could have just shifted and then just knocked it out and been on your way with the plus from your Diablo. But maybe you just felt the vibe. I'd be interested to hear, because I like to hear what people think, and I'll never say that someone's doing something wrong or someone's doing something right or whatever. I just want to hear why they did what they did, as we all on the quest to get better and learn from each other. And this is the ICL stage, so maybe people are watching this and they might have the same interested opinions or thoughts of why they did what they did. But the fortune here, we have these interviews after, we can always ask. And maybe they'll say, hey, this is why I did it. And I'm like, wow, that makes perfect sense. And now I get a little bit better as well. So the altar phase is underway. Michael BD Bunks will be on the play. Going first this time. Let's see if we can get another Diablo shift. This Emerald Amethyst deck is probably one of the better Diablo shift decks in the game. I think it is very consistent in that regard. Can do it quite easy, quite often. And Clarabelle. No more Clarabelles, dude. That's a joke.
Ooh.
We're done.
I'm assuming we're going for the Diablo shift. I'm interested in what the other card is that we're keeping. Maybe we're just keeping a second Diablo. I'm assuming it's not a Diablo and an action, but it could be if we had the 3-drop Diablo, because we have so many other Diablos. We don't really ever need to keep a small shift target, right?
You never, yeah. I would concur with that.
Although,
but this shuffle technique coming in from Michael BD Bunks is just killing me. I can't take it.
You don't like the double sleeve riffle shuffle of foil
No
cards?
way, Jose. No way. We need to knock that out, dude.
I feel
Cut
like
it out.
we're missing something here. Here we go. There, I gotta create sound effects for the shuffling we're missing out on.
I don't think that's the way. I think there's just asking to just ruin your hardware there, ruin your merchandise a bit.
Yeah, I sold out of my Magic collection a few times in my life, and one of the first, I used to riffle shuffle a lot, and I sold my collection for about $3,000 to $4,000, and it was probably worth about $8,000. But almost every single playable card that was like $50, $60 was heavy play. Because of the riffle shuffle, there's like W's in the top of the cards, basically.
I know, but it's just like I was just saying that some of those cards are for sure getting bent up. You can see it as the crab gets down and Diablo's down for the 19th time, and Diablo will reveal a nice bouquet of uninkability. We do have that Ursula sitting in hand on 2. Maybe you have the friends on the other side. You need to shift now and set up to sing, or shift next turn and maybe set up to sing that if you don't want to get it ripped by this Ursula 2, perhaps. So probably Tramp going to an Inkwell. Let's see what 1 cost character is favored here. I'm thinking Daisy Duck coming in on 1.
Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have perfect fits. So maybe if I had inner sleeves or the hard inners, I would have kept riffle shuffling. But I started using double. I stopped riffle shuffling and I started using double sleeves. And almost every single card that I have bought to play with, I've sold at the same condition.
Mm.
There's one or two instances, but those normally are loaning people cards.
Okay. So I just don't think it's I mean, you can maybe just feel that's a good way to randomize your deck a bit better. And I'm never going to besmirch anyone, as we are going to get the
It
Diablo
is.
shift, and we will sing the friend. So just like you drew it up, you kick a song and you play friends on the other side to prevent your opponent from taking them with the Ursula 2. So 2 songs down. Now, if you're Clara, you have to really consider if you're going to send in this Ursula on 2. I still think you almost got to do it, right? Just for the
And
vibes. I don't
do
know.
we
Or
have
you just
Zero
go
to
double
Hero in our
Merfolk on
deck?
2.
No, we don't. Ooh, well, did we play the look at hand? Was this the first time we got to look at her hand? I'm assuming it is if we played Ursula 2, right?
No, we
Like,
played
so
Diablo. We played Diablo on
was
1 and then
it
Ursula on 2.
was it the green Diablo?
It was a green Diablo.
Interesting. Maybe we have improvise in hand so we can 2-tap or double attack the Daisy Duck there.
And Clara electing not to be bamboozled by a potential song draw just puts Ursula down onto the inkwell, and we'll probably go double Merfolk here. And this is an interesting quest. Let's see if she quests here in the face of a potential improvise. And it looks like she's not going to. She's probably just going to hang on to it and try to build a nice, beefy, stout board. And maybe before the Elsa's roll in. Oh, never mind. It's not even her turn yet. It just passed. Yeah, we just passed here. And another Diablo is going to hit the field of play. So electing to just a not quest, just build this big board.
You meant Clara. Okay.
Clara.
I was like, we're questing with that Diablo. There's no way we're not questing with that Diablo.
Oh, for sure. But I'm talking
Honestly,
like Clara just putting characters on the board, maybe trying to just 2-tap and get out of here.
I'm surprised we're not questing with the Ursula 2.
Man, interesting. I don't know why. Maybe just get that lore. Why not? I think you're even like a Rapunzel, which is not even that. We're getting one card. It's still 2 turns away. Let's see what she's going to ink here as
Is Hatter spelled with 2 T's or 1? 2, yeah. Otherwise it'd be hater. Yep. He's a mad hater, drinking all that tea.
Okay, so getting the Clarabelle to go on down. I think Clarabelle would have been quite playable there. You could have got another card, but Diablo would have got another draw as well. So Kid Cloud Kicker's going to be able to send one of the Diablos back to the hand.
No, the wrong one.
Yeah, I definitely think you should have sent the other one there, because that Diablo, unless you plan on drawing some more cards here, which I don't know how she intends to do that. Maybe there's a thing that she's got going on, but I definitely think she should have sent the other Diablo back because it wasn't shifted on. It was just normal play to the field. So now you just basically gave your opponent an additional card back, as they could freely and clearly ink that smaller Diablo if they wanted to.
Oof. Yeah, they play it and then shift again.
Yeah,
it actually allows to shift it in and not get as blown out by a follow-up secondary kit if we somehow had multiple.
Yeah.
It also, if we have 2 more, we could ink play the Diablo and then have a 3rd one for shifting to boot.
I agree with that 100%. I'm sure Claire is going to be kicking herself on that one by keeping that Diablo up. And now we have options. We're going to go and ink. What was that card? It just went down. I think we haven't seen what it is yet. Thinking about it still.
That's ink or play or what?
It's going to be Diablo going down to the inkwell, and we'll just play it another one. So no need to shift. We'll just put another Diablo down. You couldn't stop it last time, so you're probably not going to be able to stop it this time, as you got a chance to see the entire contents of the hand. Now Claire is going to be on the back foot. You're still sitting at 0. You're holding on 7 on the board right now, which is quite formidable, but it's not going to be enough. And you really don't have any possible target for that Rapunzel, who's just kind of riding on the vine as well. Yeah, this is looking great this is looking really, really good for Michael Beatty Bunks. thinking about
Yeah,
it. One
she
Nate
has
goes
a lot
in.
of lore in play, but he just clears most of it in a turn.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to do that, Clara? You sure you want to do that?
Does that draw? Does that say draw?
Yeah.
Oh no. That's wild. Maybe Michael BD Bunks isn't
It looks like he
did not draw.
But she's still discarding, so he might just be waiting for her to discard before announcing the draw. But I think you have to... I don't know if you have to actually announce that you're drawing the cards until after the discard, because that's crazy to know whether or not... Like, because you could play mind games with Clara, make her keep things that she might be being thinking you're not drawing. But it does look like he's just missed it.
Oh.
Which is the best case scenario for her. And
Maybe
I
she
think
missed it
she
too.
needs to just quest all out here.
Just exert. Just get loose right now and then put the onus back on your opponent. Or maybe she might wait one more turn and see if that's going to be good enough, because Michael's only sitting at 1 in lore, so I think he might have some time to get something established. We are getting into Elsa range.
She just played... Okay, she just played one of the merfolk, so maybe we wait a turn. But if we quest it all out, she could take out 2 merfolk and take out the kit and leave us the daisy, which is not great. So that would put us at 7 lore, and then the next turn we could quest up for 6 more.
Yeah, I'm all in on team wait gang. I say just wait one more time. But Elsa's gonna come down, and the Cricky's gonna start coming down, and then it's gonna get really weird here on this next turn, because this deck can do a lot of cool things on turn number 5. But Claire agrees and just says we're gonna go ahead and get exerted here. Send all the characters horizontal before passing another Diablo back to the hand. And now you still got this pretty nice board, and 7 lore is not nothing to sniff at. But now you are quite vulnerable.
I would assume that this means that she has a Chernobog in her hand, because she wants the challenges to take things out, right? So that way she can play the Chernobog next turn. But Michael has a lot of cards. Luckily for her, he did forget that kind of relevant challenge or trigger to draw those cards. So it could be rough. But if he has the Bruno, imagine if he plays an Elsa here and takes down that other merfolk.
For sure.
Then
I think that'd be painful. And then sing Bruno that next turn on the potential Chernobog. That would just be an absolute devastating backbreaker. 16 minutes left in the round. No chance to ink. So we are not going to set up this this Elsa Bruno play, but we will elect to go for the Madam M Fox, who's just as impactful. He's going to be able to remove this Daisy quite cleanly. And if you wanted to, you can continue to clear. No, you won't. You won't do that. That's just actually ludicrous.
I'm a little surprised that we challenged the way we did. We could have traded off I guess we bounced the Diablo, but we could have traded the 1-drop Diablo and sent the Ursula into the kit, and then foxed back the Ursula, used as an ink, and used the 2 merfolk to take out, or the 2 Diablos to take out the merfolk, and then discarded the Ursula if we wanted, because that card doesn't like ink or discarded it does nothing. But he does need lore, so it is possible he's just trying to win the game before she somehow commits enough. To me, that makes it seem like he doesn't actually have an answer for something like Chernobog yet.
Unless they're hanging, they could just be holding it too, just hanging on to it. Maybe I'm certain that there's probably an Elsa just floating in there somewhere. Elsa into Bruno, you're probably waiting for Chernobog to reveal, and then you can execute. I think Claire is all in on questing now. Once you start, I don't think you can realistically stop. You got to just keep sending it. There is a nice, juicy Rapunzel trap that is there in the form of Madam M Fox now. You kind of finally had a chance to deploy Rapunzel if you have one. I think that will be pretty okay.
Would not
Take
be
some
bad,
turns.
That's for sure. But that would also
double
give
Diablo.
Michael 6 cards.
Never mind. It'd be quite terrible.
Maybe he misses it.
Maybe. I don't know. You can gamble a little bit, because there has been
might have to.
There have been 2, but those triggers have been very unique in terms of their deployments. The Clarabelle and Tramp, you really don't get to see those too often. I can see those getting missed. You're not missing Rapunzel. You're definitely going to Diablo the Rapunzel. So giving your opponent 6, it's and that's definitely going to give them the Elsa and the Bruno for sure. So a lot of things to consider. I think you just keep questing and just see what happens at this point. I'm scared. I'm scared for Clara. She's going to need some cards. She's going to get there.
6 cards in Michael's hand. You wouldn't believe that he missed a Diablo trigger for 6. But when you're drawing 3 cards a turn, it's okay. Sometimes you can actually do that, and it doesn't matter because you're that far ahead.
I don't know. I think that could be the maybe just.
Well, I mean,
gamble
if he
and hope they
loses, it
miss.
would probably be because of that.
Just gamble, as we're going to get the merfolk, and that's so wild that you can just challenge and banish these merfolks and discard a card, and it just really does not matter because
I think we're Rapunzeling.
She might think about it, and there's a non-zero chance Michael Beatty Bunks might not draw.
No question.
Okay, so we are going to go up, and we're going to send everybody exerted. Clarabelle gets all the way up to 12. 2-piece comes down. It's the bog. He's here. The boy is back. The bog is back. Oh man,
exactly 8.
That's cool.
Does she have a 1-drop to boot? Because that would be sick. But I don't think so.
No, we're just gonna pass our turn there. So looking at this board state,
no ink.
If you have the crab in hand, you can essentially get through this tramp quite easily. You can trade. Oh, we're singing still. We're still getting cards.
So we need to hit the Bruno. We hit Bruno on Chernobog. Then our Diablo and our Fox can take out the Tramp. And then our Ursula can eat the Merfolk. And then we can quest for 1.
And it looks like we are going to continue to just take the lore off the board every chance you get. Do you have a Crab? Do you have an Elsa? Do you have a Bruno? These are the cards that you kind of need to get to sooner or later, as Diablo is going to be exerted from singing. Do you have something else? What are you going to do when the hole comes after you? The Chernobog is out there holding the flames. The blonde.
Imagine another Knows Best.
That'd be sick. That'd be insane. No chance. There's always a chance. MKB off the tizzy, you can make it happen.
I mean, if people are playing Under the Sea, I think people could play Mother Knows Best.
Are they playing Under the Sea? I haven't looked at the decks.
Chat was saying that they were playing as Blurple and lost to an Under the Sea from Chernodogs the other day.
That's pretty cool. It looks like the Fox is just going to go ahead and crash mode Central. Are we going to Are we doubling up on this dog? That's a good sign for Clarabelle. That's a good sign for Clara. Yeah, that's a 4 in, and then you got to send this guy in too. That's a great sign for Clara.
Maybe it's also terrifying. Like if he exerts 5 here, and Bruno's, you are in a bad spot.
I was hoping for no Bruno for Clara's sake, as Chernobog doesn't even get a chance to quest once. Dang, that hurts. Absolutely, and I need this thing to get discarded here. I don't know what those other cards in hand, but I want that Chernobog to get on into the discard pile, because unlike last time, I don't think he's going to come back. I think you just don't have enough time or characters in the discard to get to it, and it is going to be the Chernobog.
Get that out of here.
That's a solid hit for Clara. I think that's something she does enjoy. You got 12 now, so this kid's going to have to do some heavy lifting. But fortunately for you, Michael's board is not that robust. There's not a lot going on there.
Oh, he uses outer sleeves. Makes sense. He wants to keep those Inknights sleeves all nice. I wonder if he triple sleeves.
For
Riffle
sure.
shuffle with triple sleeve.
For sure, a double sleeve situation, as we're going to get another Friends going too. Dang. For Clara, I'm sure she hates to see that. Ursula's out of there almost instantly. No 1 cost to back it up, and I think we just got to pass here. 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left in the round. Usually this match goes by a little bit faster, but we're chilling though, as 2 more cards coming in. I think I'm double Diablo. It's just repulsive. These are the moments when I'm like, let's ban the bird. Let's get him out of here. But I still think the card is not nearly as impactful as it was, and especially going into the next set, into Reign of Jafar. I think it's going to be, still people are going to be hot for him. They're going to see Diablo and they're going to be able to take the bird down quite easily. But Clara just doesn't have too many answers for it, as for some reason Cloud Kicker is not evasive. I mean, this dude is literally being as evasive as any
He
card
should
I've ever
be.
seen. Based on the
He might be
artwork.
too good. He might be too good as a 3-cost 2/2 evasive that bounces something. But maybe in a couple sets, we'll get the power crept Kit Cloud Kicker with evasive. This reminds me of Magic in the early days. There was 1 or 2 cards that like the art was a bird flying, and the card didn't have flying. It's like this is a bear being evasive, flying in the air, like he's
Like this,
tubing in the sky.
Like this
Like
dude
surfing the
is
sky.
this dude is literally the definition of being evasive. If I would say, look at
Yes.
he's moving, he's grooving. He's more evasive than Diablo's artwork, I would say, just based on the way the card looks. I mean, this is actually insane. But you know what? I got my nitpicks, and I'm going to nitpick. And Kit Cloud Kicker should have been evasive. There it is. I'll take that with me in my travels. As Elsa is going to go ahead and be able to exert the Rapunzel.
Although that is one issue with using a keyword like evasive over a keyword like magic, or magic like flying that magic uses, because it's quite easy to be like, this character's flying, it has flying. But evasive, you could draw a person weaving around like this and they're evasive, they're juking, you know, so anyone could have evasive and anyone might not. Like maybe Kit is a real bad air surfer and he's so slow anyone with a rock could just take him right out.
I'm not buying it. I agree with the set. Like you don't have to demonstrate the fact that you are flying in this game to be evasive, because they're basically the same thing.
Diablo trading with Kit, that is some massive respect for Bunks just saying like, no, I'm tired of it. I have enough cards. I don't care. I just need to get rid of that. Every genie printed should have evasive, says chat. That is logical to me. To an extent, I could see the genie being a certain, like Merlin as a crab doesn't have the abilities, because Merlin, he can fly on a broomstick, I think. Maybe just Madame Mim does. But like they both kind of have evasive. Do they need the broomstick? Does genie need to be ethereal?
I think we have to redefine the word evasive. Evasive just means like, it doesn't necessarily mean you doesn't even need to be in the air. You don't have to be flying. You just have to be the way that you move. It has to be nimbly and bimbly like you have to be quick and agile is like evasive. You can't be hit. You're evasive. You're ethereal.
Like Pikachu.
You're quick. This guy's quick. He's on a disc flying through the air.
I cannot
You're not
wait
hitting
for
that.
20 years from now. I'm going to be in the old person's home. Grandpa Boomer Wonderland. And Disney will have just bought Nintendo and, by proxy, Pokemon. And we have the biggest card game ever.
Let's go. They merge forces. As we're going to continue to
Mickey,
quest
I
here.
choose you.
It can happen. It can happen.
Bunks definitely has control of this game here, hence the talk of Pokemon.
Yeah, this game.
Clara,
she's hanging on. She's doing what she's got to do, but this game is, in all respects,
basically
I think
over.
Yeah, I think that once that Bruno hit the Churnabogs, I think it was just a GG there, as Clara is top decking versus when your opponent when you look on the field and they have more ink, more characters, and more cards.
Oh, how much damage is on this Go-Go? Just one? I hope it's 4. It needs to be 4.
It's just one.
If it was 4, we could double Go-Go win. But now it's looking a little rough. But there is a world maybe that another Elsa takes us down and we play a Go-Go to 17 and then another Go-Go to 17. But
or a crash.
It's not happening.
You slam a Go-Go in there, and yeah, this is. We can hope. I mean, you can always hope. You never give up hope. But this one, and we're bouncing to just get around that line.
She just top decks and improvises the Go-Go, hits the thing up to 4, plays a Go-Go.
Still be down 2.
Oh, oh no, there was another. I was like, she had the other Go-Go, but no. Bunks
same
did it.
They got Elsa out of there. And we're just getting all the glimmers exerted.
That is
Bunks is just
exactly Lorthal.
In victory position at this point,
Now
as Diablo is going to come in now. So Clara needs a miracle here. I'm not even sure if that card exists. And
it doesn't.
It's the saddest Pooh Piglet pirate you ever done seen.
Yep, because she needs to answer 2 characters. Oh, I guess she only needs to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't realize Prince John was there. I thought it was a different character. So it's just it's over.
But I mean, it was a good match. It was a good match. I think this matchup might be very difficult for this lemon lime deck to combat because typically this Churner Dog deck, the way that it plays, it can just kind of sit behind their ready characters and just get 20 lore on the board and just exert once. And with no board clear, in normal situations, they can just do that. But this deck, they have the Elsas, they have the ability to exert your characters, and then they can just, when you do a quest, they can punish you with the Madam M Foxes to clean up so easy. And it's just tough. Oh, yay! All right. I'm going.
Let's swap over to Discord.
Went off, but I'm like, I don't know.
Clara and
Hello,
Michael
hello.
Beatty Bunks. Great match.
Howdy.
Great match. Mr. Beatty Bunks, you got the dub. First, I love your play, Matt. I love your whole aesthetic. I love the eclectic dice,
Thank
and I
you.
love the fingernails and all your whole situation. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Clara, yours was great too, but I mean, you got outmatched in the swagger department in this round, and also
You got to
in the
get
field
that
of play,
cloth
didn't work out
playmat. That's what you got to do, Clara. You
I
got to
was
get
there's that one, there's the Spellground, and then there's the Ursula.
fancy.
Okay.
What brand is the one on the top? What is that?
It is a, oh my gosh, it's a Grimoire, I believe.
Nice.
Interesting.
Grimoire accessories, yeah.
There you go. There you go. It looks really cool. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But I also like that matchup. So you came in and you're facing off against the Churner Dogs. You're playing the Emerald and Amethyst strategy. I think that deck is quite good into this matchup. When you sat down across from Clara, the Questing Queen, what was your initial impressions? Did you think that it was going to be some lemon lime coming your way? And what was your game plan going into this round one matchup versus 20LorePros?
Oh Lord, I'm upside down. Okay, so, I honestly, from seeing Clara play in ICL matches as well as watching her play on stream in various DLCs, I know that she loves her aggro. So I knew, like, you know, if I was up against Clara, it's probably going to be some aggro kind of thing. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm not used to playing the third. I know I probably missed about 12 triggers there. It's fine.
You missed a very important trigger for 6
Yes.
off of the dog. And
Well-
I do believe you missed an important trigger for 5 or 6 off of a Clarabelle in the first game. But I don't remember
Well-
if you drew that one out. It was hard to tell. We were trying to guess because you had so many cards.
Yeah, my thoughts behind the Clarabelle was the fact that, okay, she's already got Clarabelle out. If for some reason I'm unable to clear the cow, then me drawing like 6 cards off of that will then let her draw, you know, even more cards.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want her to keep gaining advantage off the cow.
And you top
And
deck
then
the Bruno.
the tramp, I was face palming the whole time because the previous turn I could have also, there was a line where I also could have played the Prince John and just drew even more cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't even think about it until after it happened.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you mentioned you
that's,
don't play this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
I was just gonna say that's a really important thing there that a lot of players. I'm not trying to throw shade at you at all, but it's
Yeah.
like a lesson for the viewers. Is like I did it myself. I played a Rapunzel and didn't exert my ink, and then I tried to play 2 more cards, and I was just like so caught back when my opponent's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was like the next turn or something," and I was tilted from how stupid I felt. That then the next turn I made a play mistake and lost the game from it. And it's just like, it's so easy to get distracted by a misstep that you do, that then the next turn you're still caught up on it. And then you'll play worse, where it's like you have to be like, okay, I made the mistake, or I forgot to do something, or I didn't do the right play, whatever. How do we go on from here? Because sometimes people will be like, oh, I don't even want to play this now because I don't want to show them the mistake I made, where it's like, no, you would rather lose than be embarrassed. Obviously that was not this case, but in general, I think it's an important lesson for people to learn there.
Absolutely. But I gotta ask though, you say you don't play too much of this strategy, you don't play Diablo too much. What is your typical deck, and what do you think about this deck that you are playing tonight going into the next set? I think it gets a lot of added cards to make it a little bit better when you enter into Reign of Jafar.
So my usual color pairing is actually Emerald Amethyst. I normally play the tempo builds. It's been something I've been on since set 1. And I decided to play Diablo tonight because I played tempo this set, and it just didn't feel like it was quite there.
Mhm.
And I felt like Diablo just had a better general matchup, like a better spread overall
Okay.
versus Tempo.
I think Tempo is going to be back in a major way next set. So I enjoyed the matchup. Congratulations on your win. But we're going to bring the Question Queen in. Clara, you didn't get it done today.
Hi.
Okay. Game number one, I think it kind of got away from you. Game number two, you did the thing that you wanted to do. You got it done. But game number three,
Yeah.
can you just talk about what went wrong and how much you hate Bruno and how it kept getting rid of your turn box so you weren't able to execute your game plan.
Yeah, well, I have Ursula in my deck to go up against those kind of songs, but I drew them early game, and you don't necessarily want to have them early game and keeping them against other options when you can put the pressure, trying to get the pressure and maintain it. It's a choice to make. So I went all in. In retrospect, maybe it was a bad choice. Maybe I should have kept Ursula to
Hmm.
like 3-4 turns ahead, have a defense, but so many things change in
Yeah.
3-4 turns. You can plan ahead of 1 or 2 turns in those situations, but too much is really too much.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have a question for you, Clara.
Yeah.
In game 2, you opted to kit the Diablo instead of shifting it to challenge it. Was that just to play around Peter Pan? Could you just explain what thought process you went through to take that plan to go for the Piglet lore over removing the Diablo permanently?
It was. Uh, I checked a lot of things to do in that case. I could have gone to many things. Again, here I wanted to. I probably shifting the Pegasus to quest, not to quest, but to challenge would have been the right guess. I opted to return to hand once to be able to quest aggressively, get the advantage, get the points
Did you
early
have
on.
did you have the second kit in your hand when you played the first one?
No.
Because that second kit was brutally good to really let you to get going there. And I honestly, I kind of thought through both of the play lines, and I don't really know which one was the right one. So I was wondering if you had a thought where you're like, oh, it's definitely the kit, or if it's still kind of up in the air there.
Yeah, in aggro, I believe that when you can get the advantage, you do this, and then you maintain the advantage by controlling the board, and you continue applying pressure to get to the win. Having done the opposite, challenging instead, would have made me lose a turn of 3-4 lore. So one turn makes everything sometimes.
Yep.
Okay. And while we're talking about that shift play, I had another question I actually wrote down. I just read some of my notes from that game. I'm going back to you, Mr. Beatty Bunks. I love the name, by the way. I keep saying Michael Beatty Bunks. It sounds really cool to say. But there was a turn on that turn one when you came in and you immediately shifted that Diablo. When you played the Diablo, you saw the Pegasus, you saw the shift, you saw everything set up, and then you shifted immediately. Can you just talk through that and what went down there?
So normally I'm not one for shotgunning Diablos, as I call it, but uh, at that point when I saw like Claire's had the nuts, honestly, me having played tempo, I've been on like more of like from Clara's point of view from how that hand is against Diablo, and I knew that like that bird was not going to stick. Either she was going to shit Pegasus and kill it, she was going to bounce it 2 or 3 times. Like it wasn't going to stick. And so my thought process was, you know what, let's just go ahead and play this big Diablo, get 1 turn, maybe 2 of value out of it, rather than just, play this baby Diablo, have it get bounced back, play it again, have it get bounced back, maybe just, and just kind of stare at my hand. I figured maybe I could draw something off of the
Okay.
Diablo. Um,
I like it. I thought I'd ask. I don't know if it's right or if it's wrong. I like to enter the mind of the players whenever I can, man. That was an interesting play, and I thought it was cool. And I'm glad you explained it. And you still, whatever happened, it worked out. And you got the dub this time. So going up 1-0, the Inknights are trying to take this thing down from the 20 Lord Pros, but it's going to be a long night. We got some great matchups coming our way. But before we let you guys go, we got round 2 coming up. Clara, we're going to kick it over to you to give some special shout outs. The floor is yours. Take it away. 20 Lord Pro, Clara.
Thank you so much. So, I will be pretty busy in this month. I have you will be seeing me casting for the WCC, for the CCS, so WCC this weekend, CCS the weekend after, and then Toledo with the Illumineers on the following weekend. So pretty packed. Trying to get some rest all through this and maybe stream once or twice at Questing Queen TCG. So that's it. I want to thank the team, 20LorePro, always there for me. Thanks.
Nice. 20LorePro. I'm looking forward to seeing what Clara's got to say into the booth. Get back in there. WCC this weekend. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Keep it locked. But we're going to shift over to our winner, Mr. Beatty Bunks. All right, go ahead. The floor is yours. The victory lap is yours. Take it away. Represent the Inknights. Round number 1 victory. Here it is.
Okay. First off, I'm gonna give a shout out to Clara for being an amazing opponent, and then also to my dad who's out there watching. Thank you for supporting me in all of my nerd hobbies over the years. To my team, if it weren't for those guys, and also my friends here back home. If it weren't for really the community that I've gotten to know from this game, I probably, I wouldn't be here right now sitting in front of a computer playing some Disney cardboard. And it's just been absolutely amazing.
Come for the cards, stay for the players.
Let's go. Exactly. The people is what make the game, not the cards, not the text, not any of that stuff. It's the people. That's why we play. But seriously, great match, great game, great round number 1. The Inknights pull out ahead, and we're going to see if you guys can maintain that lead, or will the 20 Lord Pros come back and take the dub away. So we will let you both go. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Get back into your dojos and cheer on your respective teams. Absolutely. But I'm hopping back into the booth.
All right, JDZ, I can hear you again.
Oh, I'm back. We're in the booth. Mr.
Right in the booth.
Yo. Luke, good match, man. I thought it was a good one. That was nice and clean. A nice clean. I like nice little clean. There were a little him
So
haul.
fresh and so clean.
It was nice and easy. Got it done. Nice little game 3 as we got round number 2 coming our way. And it looks like, is that J-Bomb in the dojo?
So
back at it again?
There was an emergency, and Sir Ashtown had to run to the hospital, I do believe. It is not for him, but it is a job-related thing.
Gotcha.
If you know what his job is, it'll make sense, but I'm not going to make everyone depressed and sad, so we're not going to talk about that. So J-Bomb is being awesome and jumping in to help Phil for that spot here, but you're not going to see me anymore. I'm going to swap out here, and you're going to see one of the best singers in Lorcana. And no, I'm not referring to Baker or myself or JDZ, actually, but one of my favorite people, Rudy Rose!
Retro.
Oh, I have to press the button to switch. I have to change it.
I didn't even know Retro's gonna be here tonight. What a treat! What a treat! And saying that Redrose can sing better than me is not an insult at all, okay? Because it is literally the truth, okay? Rud, what are you doing? How you been?
Man, hey, I've actually been out of the country for the last 2 weeks, so this is kind of a surprise for me too. But I'm back. How are you doing, sir?
Wait. Where were you? Sorry, just real quick update. Where have you been? What's going on? You've been out of the country? Where you been?
I was in the land down under, crikey. I actually visited Australia.
Kidding? What? Okay, that's a whole nother story. We'll have to save that for another time. I got to know what the age you were doing in Australia. But either way, we're back in the 20. We're back in the ICL on a Wednesday. We got 20 Lore Pros versus the Inknights. We got a round 1. Did you get a chance to catch that round number 1?
I did. It was what green purple versus kind of Chernadog. So
That's
no
right.
set 8 cards yet, though, right? These are still
Not
set
yet.
7. Okay,
We're
that's why I
still
assumed
we're
watch
still
it.
we're still locked in and trapped on Arcadia's Island until next week. So we're gonna be here for a while. But still, I think it's some good matchups, and I think it's gonna be fair across the board. We got to finish the tournament as it has started. This is
Excellent.
going into round number 2, and you're all caught up, man. So are you feeling jet lagged? Are you feeling a little?
Absolutely, dude. The first day I got back, I think I went to bed at about 10 at night, and I didn't wake up till 12:30 the next day. I'm just
You're cooked, man. You're cooked. But we got another great matchup. We got J-Bomb coming in here as probably the 6th man of the year, the substitute of the year. He's done this. It came in and pinch hit a few times and has gone to the dub as Tipo is going to find his way down into the Inkwell, followed by the Popsicle for J-Bomb as we have Nairuan.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you say it. Nairuan?
I believe that is
maybe I'll say
Church. Was it Church? Chester Church? Charles Church? CC.
Yeah, I love the Matt J-Bomb has. That cat looks very devilish and wicked and just takes up so much of it, which is nice.
Quite menacing. But the Inknights have a unique aesthetic on their mats as well. I think this is the second very cool mat with the white sleeves this time, as Diablo is going to come in on one, staring down the mean Cheshire cat in blue.
Holding
Maybe
that
Blurple?
popsicle. I mean, a Diablo to start in purple. It's one of my favorite openings. I definitely dig it. As we actually ink Tipo, so presumably we have a form of ramp as we see Tipo's twin, other Tipo, come out.
I think it just opened triple Tipo in the starting hand as well, because Tipo went down in Inkwell on the turn 1 too, and Ink 1 and 2, and that's a perfect opening for a Ruby Sapphire. If this is in fact Ruby Sapphire, I didn't see what the other card was.
I think it's only been blue so far, so I think we just know the one color. I was thinking the other day too, it's interesting that these decks used to ramp consistently, so they would want to do their maybe one jump into their Quill, and they would actually ramp for several turns. But now it's going to become more traditional that as long as you hit that turn 2 ramp, it's enough to push you ahead of your opponent, and a lot of decks tend to at least slow down, if not stop altogether after that.
Yeah, they'll do a ramp on 2, and sometimes they'll get into the how far I'll go on 4, especially if you can sing it. But I think you're correct. It's not like this huge, overly extra rampy situation, especially for this Ruby Sapphire. Any of the Sapphire decks, they just give you a 1, maybe 2, maybe you'll throw a Pleakley in there from time to time, and it is going to be Steel, Amethyst Steel coming in from CC. Nay, Ruan is going to get that going.
Diablo pretty protected from this Tipo. Yeah, the Tipo can challenge it, but you do not want Calhoun to go in and put that little boy in timeout. So I think Tipo's going to need to be on his best behavior and stay ready where he is safe.
Just sitting there up and active as the McDuck Manor is going to find its way. So maybe playing that Sharkburn deck. I know that's what J-Bomb has played last time, but you got the Super Goof. We got the Goof. And I'm going to have to talk to
and then bops the Diablo out of there.
I'm gonna have to talk to J-Bomb about these sleeves. What's happening there with these sleeves?
I know. I've had that on some of mine. I wonder if it's when you put stuff face down into the inkwell, it's just like dirt picks up on your mat. Because I've seen a few sleeves like that as well. Super Goof, by the way, a great counter to the Calhoun, where the Calhoun can challenge the Super Goof, but since she cannot banish him in one go, she is not going to get that return lore, which is very nice.
Right, and just leave some damage just floating around, and then Super Goof can come back over the top and yuck right on back again.
I do like the idea of him like jumping into the ring over the top rope, but yuck, and it just drops the elbow on her.
Just yuck.
Yeah. I hear JR's voice, giving her the yucking elbow off the top.
Oh, get the humanity.
Oh my God, how does I sleep at night?
He's got a family. Okay, no more. Well, gosh. That's my goof. That's my goof. I got a pretty decent goof from time to time.
Yeah. So Fox can punish a Super Goof if you wanted to quest the Calhoun. Fox does keep the Fox around. We do know he inked one earlier, so I don't know if May has a second one. As we do see, I think this is the second Smee we've seen go into the Inkwell.
Ooh. Usually Smee in this Ruby Sapphire world is a go-to guy just to get that. If you can get Smee to go for a 6, you're probably going to be picking up a victory. But we see that's not going to be happening in this round, as you're probably trying to stay on top of the tempo as you are setting up 3. Maybe it's the White Rose coming in, and it is the White Rose. So it seems like this is more of that aggressive version that some Illumineers have elected to go for.
And we can't really challenge a Super Goof. It just becomes an unfavorable trade. As you said, Goofy comes back over the top. Now, however, if the Goof does decide to quest, you can kind of counter punish with the Rose and the Calhoun together.
For sure. As we go on ahead, get the develop your brain going down into the discard. And I love the graded discard to go for the discard. I think that's very
Right?
clean J-Bomb esque. I think he's the only person I've seen do that. But I got to talk to J-Bomb about these sleeves. You got to get some new sleeves, man. If you're going to be rocking and rolling like this, we can't be. If you can physically see the gunk build up on the sleeve,
Yeah,
it's time for
that
them
is
to
a
go.
lot of gunk. That is a lot of gunk. I've always wanted to do it, so like, I don't really ever want to play with my enchanteds because I'm afraid of them getting damaged. But I've thought of doing that too, of like, hey, if I just have the graded version of the enchanted, can I just like pull it onto the mat when it's time, and I'll have like a proxy in the sleeves or whatever.
That'd be nice. I think that should be legal. I think that should be legal. Why not?
That way you're
Just
protecting them, yeah.
just keep it going. As we are going to send out the Grandma Tala. Yeah, the sleeves are starting to wrinkle at the top. Yeah, J-Bomb. J-Bomb apparently has never bought new sleeves before. We need to break that trend immediately because these sleeves are irritating me to the max. I'm gonna have to send J-Bomb some sleeves. He's my guy. I like J-Bomb a lot though.
Right.
Shout out to J-Bomb.
I wonder how long he's had them, because if he's had them over a year, I mean, those are in good condition, considering, like, I don't know the length. I guess if he got them this week, then, well, J-Bomb, what have you been doing?
Yeah, I change my sleeves like I'm changing my socks. They're out of there. After one use, if I go to one tournament and there's a lot of people there, they're done. No way, dude. No way. Absolutely not.
JDZ's like, right after you get that break in where you can cleanly shuffle them, okay, now it's time to go back to
Yep, they're gone. Yep, they're done. Can't do it. Can't sit here and just be. Maybe I just like re-sleeving as well. I enjoy the process of sleeving. I think that's a part of it. As we do get the option to sing here, and White Rose is going to get a chance. His friends on the other side. Hand is looking quite jacked for CC, as you have this Calhoun holding your board together. Haven't really had the opportunity to use her ability, no exerting, but Goat is going to come on out on 4.
The Goat's coming in off the top for a little extra lore. Normally I get nervous for decks when they're not being super aggressive against red-blue, because red-blue is considered, the highest late game deck. However, I do think Amethyst Purple has enough tricks with the ability to peat and then repeat, turns off all the shark lore. You have all the instant lore with Rose with Goat, that I think this deck is one of the few I feel a little bit better about as the game goes later on, taking on a red-blue deck like this.
Absolutely. I concur with that. We saw that on the ICL on a Monday. We saw that when Wochuk was playing some Amethyst Steel, and when they had if this deck is playing Cobras and Goats and Roses, and maybe even some more of the extending cards that we haven't discussed, like some of the songs that you can play, or some Gathering Wisdom. I know they can take that card from time to time. Or I think that can just, once you get to 15 or 13 sometimes, and you start just bouncing and questing and just gaining, and then you just can just win out of nowhere. So I think it can match wits, and also what this deck has going for it is quite Sisu resilient. So even when J-Bomb gets into those late turns, you got Pete to start to be prepared, and then you just won't get Sisu'd, and your characters are just really resistant to that.
As Super Goof sings "How Far I'll Go" in his best Goofy impression, which gives us one card off the top and then one into the inkwell of our choice.
When the light at the side of the sea, it calls me.
Yup, no one knows how far I'll go.
Oh, man, dude, that's so silly, dude. That's another cool thing about this game, when stuff like that can happen. Like Goofy,
absolutely.
I could just imagine Goofy like sitting over on a nice, beautiful mountaintop, gazing across the ocean.
Behind him, he's gazing out into the ocean like Moana is, and
he like just slips off and just rolls down the hill or something. That'd be pretty good. I'd pay for that. I'd tune into that.
So Tala is going to trade with the White Rose, which gets our board pretty clear. Goofy is now subject to be removed by the Goat, but Goofy has more than done his job. He's gotten 2 lore. He sang a few songs for us, so I think J-Bomb's going to be pretty happy with that one.
It is going to be a negative value. You're going to lose a card in card advantage, and it seems like CC, aka Nay Ruan, is doing a pretty good job. And there is the Pete going into the Be Prepared turn, or actually the turn after Be Prepared turn. You didn't play it, so you're definitely not going to play it now. And then Tipo is going to get fired on potentially. No,
actually hits the Goof, and uses the Calhoun combo once the extra lore goes up to 5. And this way the Goat can just freely quest too. Yeah, at first I wasn't sure about the Pete, but I do like, you're going a little wider. That B prep is coming. Like you said, these decks tend to not run Sapphire Coil, so very Sisu immune, as you pointed out earlier.
But now you are going to have to worry about that hero to all. Checking J Bomb's grip, it looks like you're holding only 2 cards left. So if one of those is in fact the Maui, or I'm sorry, that's 3 cards. Excuse me. So Maui can come in and get some type of plus, probably taking this Calhoun and then seeing what happens next, as you're still losing this card advantage game to Nariun quite extensively. You're going to need
Yeah.
something to plus.
You've seen all set the post-ban effect of losing Hiram, right? That these decks just don't have the draw power they once did, where normally they could keep up with these purple decks, but now without Flaversham, they really have to rely on Tamatoa and cycling the popsicles. As we see a Goofy go into the Inkwell, and the Half Shark does come down, says, yeah, I can't use any actions this turn, but if you don't do anything about this card, we know the terror a shark can bring in those waters.
Oh, for sure. So this is now going to be a way that you can also plus cards back from your deck, but the Zeus is immediate. That Zeus came down so quick. You could tell that CC was holding on to that Zeus for a long time, and that goat probably also explains why the goat didn't go into that that super goof earlier, just to keep his body around to potentially sing that Zeus. And now you got the rabbit being deployed. So this is looking all aces for Ney Ruan, who is probably thinking about going on a quest. I think you got to be able to take it.
If you're anticipating the be prepared anyway, right? Like it's going to come down, it's going to clean this board up, so you might as well get as much out of it. Worst thing that happens beyond a be prepared is what, a Maui comes down and takes out Calhoun, but then you can just counter trade it with the Pete. So I think you just put the pressure on at this point.
Oh, for sure. I think that is the absolute correct decision to go for a quest. Again, your boy's very Sisu resilient. You still are going to be headlong into a be prepared. This Tipo, who has been on the board for a ridiculous amount of time, is finally going to get a chance to be exerted. Typically, the be prepared is going to roll right behind it. And our teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nailed it.
We'll look for our checks in the mail. Thank you.
Yeah, please send them in. Send one to Red Rose and one to JDZ Quest.
Yes, please. You know those board wipe turns are always fun to watch because they just almost immediately go, okay, quest everything I have, and then it's like, all right, obviously the board wipes coming out at this point. So of course, the first be prepared, very impactful. So it's how do we recover after this? Now, Ney also had a goat and a rabbit on the board, so we got not only a lore out of it, but a card in hand as well. So I think Ney is going to be refilling the board very quickly, whereas J-Bomb only has 2 in hand. And we immediately banish that Broom, potentially worried about another B-Prep or a Sisu. Just says, no, I want to guarantee, make sure I get this card draw.
Right. And just like you talked about earlier, I think you're getting to the point of the game where if you can just get each of your cards to represent a lore or 2, if you can get 2 lore out of every card in your hand, then you just win the game. So I think that's what the goal is now. After that first board wipe goes through, you're just trying to do what you can, and you're not going to get it off of this one as the monstrous dragon hits the board. Wow.
Ooh. And he inked a Grandma Tala, which is kind of your only, like, that's one of your forms of card draw, quote unquote. So I don't know. That seems. I know he's on 10 lore, but like that seems a little overkill for a White Rose, don't you think?
Maybe he's trying to avoid it getting bounced back to hand and just getting more White Rose deployments. And also, he's holding out for this Tamatoa Happy as a Clam, who has to arrive sooner or later. That will give you 2 cards if you can find that. Maybe you can start chaining those together. Vision of the Future is another card you have access to that can find that Tamatoa Happy as a Clam just to refill your hand a little bit. You do have 2 popsicles in play, and typically that is going to be a great thing as your draw engine, as another way to add cards in. So you're looking for Tamatoa, you're looking for develop your brain, you're looking for Vision of the Future, just something, or even I'd slap down a couple manners right here and just ride it out and see if that's good enough.
And there's another Zeus as it just cleans up that dragon. Man, paying 9 to get rid of a Rose, that doesn't feel as good. But I guess you also got 4 CP out, or 4 ink out of your opponent.
For sure.
I've always wanted them, JDZ, to have a Zeus card that, I don't know if there is one that can sing it, and I always wanted him to be like playable so I could do it and then go, and then along came me. And then he just hits him with himself.
I think they might have a 4 cost one. You could try it. I think that'd be worth the memes.
I want to say there's one in green. I don't know if there's another one.
I think it would be worth the memes just to build your whole deck just to do that one thing and get cooked. You get turbo cooked.
Scoop. You're like, all right, I'm good.
All right, game over.
I think that was the 4th Tipo going into the Inkwell as another. Okay, Half Shark. When you're out of cards in hand, this is a good one to have sitting on the board. Does potentially represent more if we can get into that discard pile. And we've seen 2 Zeuses at this point. Don't know how many Ney is running, but at least a good sign that maybe the Shark's going to stick around for a minute.
For sure. As Pete and Smee are going to be deployed here, I think you're kind of in a good spot with this half shark. He's going to be able to stun lock the board a bit. He's going to also be able to quest and gain you some residual income, even though he's not gaining lore through his ability just yet. As the goof is going to be out, up tempo goof, nobody to swing. Interesting indeed. Just
I
trying
think
to put
Nate could
another
have
body on the board.
waited on the Pete there too, because it was like J-Bomb had nothing in hand. He wasn't going to challenge and get back in action. So unless he just happened to rip something off the top that was amazing, like I don't know. I think I might have held the Pete for this turn, depending
Right.
on if you're going to quest out, because then if he gets the action back, at least he can't use it. But we'll
I
see how
can,
it plays out.
I,
For
w-
him.
I would agree, but now you got to get to this really weird spot where you need to keep including characters into the field of play, unless you can start getting in that little bounce train going.
Yeah.
Because exerting this Smee is a recipe for disaster because he's got those 2 popsicles up, like we talked about earlier. So if you stoosing the Smee to get the 2 lore, you're going to lose it. Your opponent's going to plus, and then they're going to heal, and you're going to get nowhere in life. So this is an interesting turn. We're paying 5. It's the Elsa.
Okay, so we can exert the Goofy. We'd have to run both characters in at least 2 to get rid of it. Okay, now we're going to sing Strength.
Never mind. Now Elsa can, in fact, go after this
Finish after
shark.
the shark? Yeah. Who knew? The Queen of Arendelle hunting for shark in the off season.
Doing her thing. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And you do get your 2
And look at
lore
that
as well.
shark. Did anybody else see that? I saw a shark like jump out on his screen. That was funny.
Oh, is he sharked up right there? I didn't see it. I missed
Great
it.
graphics. Whoever edited that, I'm assuming that was our production manager in the back. Goofy does run in, takes out the Smee, uses both popsicles to go ahead and clean it up. Is ready now to come out with the Tamatoa. I thought this was actually looking pretty good for J-Bomb with that shark on the board, but they were just turned it around on a dime.
Yeah, but he does have this very powerful and potent manner established, and he has the super goof up as well. Pete holding the board down, really not doing too terribly much, and Calhoun's going to come on to join him. So now you have the answer and another Pete. So no, be prepared for you, and you now have the willpower, or excuse me, the strength in play to one shot this manner. So I think this is a great use of your resources there, and you are be prepared proof off the top. I believe J-Bomb is still top decking.
Yeah.
Great match. I love a little top deck central late in game. These are grindy. I like it.
Everyone just seeing what they can pull. One person pulls just the card they need. The other person's like, a 1-drop. How useless. Thank you.
Dude, how crazy would a Madam Mim Fox be off the tizzy right here for Nehru on? It will be actually insane.
Start that repeat chain. Yeah,
Oh,
because J-Bomb does want to get to a B prep at this point and hopefully protect this manor. If what he could do, what J-Bomb
I'd take another
could do,
dragon too.
Yeah, well, and what he could is like, let's say he didn't draw anything useful. He could quest with the Goofy and maybe potentially try to bait, action away from the manor, and then maybe you get to a B prep, and then you can just protect the manor. But obviously, kind of risky too. And Nate might not even fall for it. He might just say, I'm just taking that manor out.
Yeah, I think manor's just gotta go because be prepared is just looming. You know it's a threat, and I think you made the correct decision. And you did not even exert, and we're just gonna blast him for a 3 there.
That's interesting. Surely we have a follow up, right?
No, they're both top deck central. So, J-Bomb has 1 in hand. As Goofy's going to take another turn to sing some How Far I'll Go. You're looking for Be Prepared here potentially. I'd rip it if I had it. Or Tamatoa, Happy as a Clown, will be another amazing include from the deck to hand right now. Just gain some cards.
It might have been a little proactive to use that Strength of a Raging Fire. It depends how this plays out. Like if this ends up leading to Be Prepared, he kind of just blew it for no reason. I'm assuming what his point, he didn't want just a free challenge to come in from the Super Goof and for the Super Goof to then survive after that. But so this way he's ensuring, hey, if you come at me, your character will be banished.
Yeah, I still think, I don't know, man, because even if, double Maui. Wait a minute.
One in demigod form, one in shark form.
That was insane. And he had 1 in hand, and he had one gained off the How Far I'll Go. And this is a super turn in the tides. And now you don't have that Strength of Rage of Fire to help engage with the other Maui.
Here, right? You could have picked the Maui off with it. So
yeah, I guess you could trade these 2 characters in. But if you do that, you're going to be serving up some fish food. 1 card in hand. Is it another Zeus off the tizzy?
We hope so. Otherwise, these are shark-infested waters we're swimming in. You do not want to be there.
Yeah. And you're still only sitting at 12, so you're not quite there yet. And your engine is completely cold. I haven't seen any snakes. We saw a rabbit. We saw some white roses. And we have seen a few Zeuses. I haven't seen any genies or anything like that, but I don't even think you can get to the point where you are just extending, because guess what? Those Pirates lives will start flowing here soon as well. As well,
Mhm.
just fire the cannons again.
Actually finishes off the goofy, just wants to keep as much lore off the board as
Mhm.
possible. I liked your use of the term earlier of stun lock. The shark almost has secret text on the card that says your opponents can't quest in front of it, you know, like while he's on the
Yeah.
board, because just the punishment of it, especially when there you go, you see that first Pirate's Life come out. I think we just cast it. So now suddenly J-Bomb is in the lead and just says,
Yeah.
hey, if you quest at all, that card's coming right back. Oh man. This was looking so good for Nay, but it is slipping away right now.
Yeah, the turntables have turned as the GOAT is going to hit the board, going back up to 11. Still can't even afford to quest. You have
You
to just
can't.
reluctantly pass back on over. Maui Shark doing exactly what he's going to be doing. You're talking post rotation. This card's going to be here for a long
Oh,
time. And I think the idea of getting this guy banned, you talk about banning guys. This
right?
guy might need to be in the short list of cards and need to get up out of this game, because he is just way too good. But there are so many answers that you can have for Maui Half Shark. So I wouldn't really think about that too much. But
Well,
this
but
guy's a
after
problem.
rotation, again, a card like Zeus, like a lot of these steel
Yeah.
songs, they're all gone, assuming they don't get a reprint. So this shark could be a real terror, as if he isn't already. As we see, do do do
Uh-oh.
do, Tamatoa is gonna
Oh
get back
man,
2 popsicles, and now J Bomb is really starting to find his stride.
this is looking all roses for J Bomb with the lore accurate board, except for those popsicles. You got the
Yeah.
Maui, and Tamatoa staring down a Pete, and a goat. And we just gonna heal too. This is just looking so good. Are we singing? No, we're just gonna keep questing, moving on
Keep
up to
questing.
14.
He's
This
evasive. What are you
is
gonna do? That is one thing Amethyst Steel rarely. I don't know if this deck has ever really had a way to effectively challenge evasive characters.
Mhm.
It almost always has to use its spot removal, its songs to get
Mm.
rid of them. So
Only when
yeah, what
they
do you
only
do?
when they elect to use that Peter Pan, a Shadow Finder, and
Yeah,
the Iago tech, but I don't even think the Amethyst Steel decks were really doing that too terribly much. I know Blurple adopted it pretty heavy, and I know that some Amethyst and Ruby strategies adopted that, but I don't know if Amethyst Steel did just yet. As we're going to just keep flooding the board. I guess that's all you can
mhm.
do and pass.
And this is the part, I think, of all the things that the shark drives me nuts. I think this feeling it creates where you can't actually do anything. You can't quest. It actually makes you lose the game. You can't challenge it because it's evasive. So you just have to sit here and like, well, I hope I draw into something that gets rid of it.
Yeah, we need like I think you need a card that says like, hey, if this card is challenged by a character with 5 or more strength, banish that character or something.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
something
Yeah.
like that, just to at least have the ability to have some type of counterplay. And you do have to look back. I mean, I hate to say misplayed or whatever. You got to look back at that strength too, because
Yeah.
that could have been an out to this position.
Yeah, because
But
if we hold that and next turn we can get 1 body on the board. Now, granted,
Mhm.
maybe it's too late at this point because he's already on 17, but at least then that's an out versus if the strength had gotten rid of the super goof, I would have understood it. But the
Right.
fact that it didn't even get rid of, so here's a perfect example. Crab on crab action is Crab powers up Calhoun and she goes in and bops Tamatoa there. So we hold the lore back for a little longer. We get 2 out of it.
wait, hold up, we got 4. That gets you up to 17. If you get a, what about some bounce? I mean, how much ink you got? You don't have enough ink to
He doesn't have an ink to
redeploy.
bounce and replay.
Oh yeah, and
And
Pirate's
there's
Life is
Pirate's
just
Life.
going to
Well,
get it down
never
anyway.
mind.
That's GG.
We'll just- ugh.
We're going
Oh,
next.
man.
We are going next, and just like that, the power of Shark was on full display right there.
Mhm.
As J Bomb was in a compromised position there for a little while, and then boom, you turn it around. I thought it was magnificently executed. As Narion Nye is going to have to look back at that like, man, what could I do? Now you know the cat's out of the bag though, so you do have Zeus's, you do have some tools that you just have to kind of really just hard grip and just hope that you can be enough to clear this Maui Half Shark.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, and that was an instance too where the number of cards you have in your deck really came into play there because Nay was able to take out 2 sharks. First one got hit by Zeus,
Mhm.
second one got hit by that Elsa combo with I think it was Strength of a Raging Fire. But it was like, okay, you dealt with 2, can you deal with 3? And usually at some point your opponent runs out of the removal. So if you can just keep finding that key card, then
Mhm.
that can win you a game, as it just did.
Yeah, I think I think you got to just hard iron fist your shark outs and hope whenever, because now you know he's coming. And this deck especially in this configuration, I think it kind of runs through the Maui Half Shark. Like if Shark's not being very effective, the deck's
Yeah.
not gonna it's gonna struggle a bit. If the manners aren't being very effective, and you have tools in your deck that can engage the manners quite easily, but you really don't have a lot of stuff for this Maui Half Shark, especially if he can just get loose, just like he was demonstrated on that last turn.
Yeah.
Also, you see that he's playing a ton of super goofs as well, so I'd be very reluctant with the Smee management. And we talked about that as well with Smee being able to go for 6. He's never getting for 6 on this super goof.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. He's too clean.
Yeah, and Nay inked the Smee last time, so we had that as an option because I was just thinking, well, maybe you could try Smee this time, try to get a little more early lore, but like you said, the super goof punishes it very well, so you gotta just, unless you just want to take the risk and hope they don't have it, be like, all right, well, show me you got it. So
I mean, unless they if J-Bum comes down and say, you know, miss a turn 1, miss the turn 2 ramp, and you know, Smee probably could get a couple more residual lores in there. If they don't have it, maybe they don't play max copies of Super Goof. Potentially they could have. I know I saw DKP, who is pretty much the architect of this deck and made it super famous. I know he's on max Super Goof these days. Maybe that's in the Arcasia's, on the Range of Far, but I don't know. Maybe in Arcasia's Island it might be something worthwhile as well, because it's just cleanly answers a lot of problematic stuff.
These are always kind of weird times in the meta too, aren't they? Where like you have all these new cards, and surely that's where your brain is like, oh, I'm thinking about all these new decks and ideas and strategies. But then you're also playing in this tournament where you're like, oh, actually, hold on, I still have to pretend I'm in the last set, and like all that stuff doesn't exist.
Go back in time. Just take a step back in the Wayback Machine. I'm ready to get my Rain of Jafar on. I mean, I had a good time in Arcasia's Island, but I think we got it done.
Is there a certain like list you're excited to try or test?
I've tried. I'm very, very excited to try the racers. I really want to try that.
Oh, yeah.
I've tried the Monstro combo the other day, and I was all in on Monstro combo. I thought it was really cool because I love playing combo decks. Yeah. But I actually played the deck, and my opponent made me resolve the whole combo. Like they didn't scoop. They were like, I want to see it. And after that, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm
like, well, this isn't worth it. Yeah,
it's not worth it, because I felt bad. And honestly, I'm certain that there's a rule. I've been told that the judge community has come together and said, hey, if someone demonstrates a loop, you don't have to do it. Just do it a few times and then explain how many times you want to do it. But I was just like, I felt bad. And I'm glad that they did that, because I felt quite punished for doing that. But I think that deck is cool. I would like to try some of the pull the lever stuff. I think that's a really interesting flavor. And a few other things. How about you, man? What are you playing these days? Are you still Ruby M, or is it DED?
I mean, that'll be my bread and butter if I'm like trying to win. I've been messing around with illusions. I just really wanted to try them. So far, they're okay. The Jafar is great. Like he's clearly a really good payoff for them. The problem is, especially if you see a bunch of these steel decks, like they just all get banished the moment they get targeted with the smallest thing. So fun idea, but I don't know how competitive it'll be, as J-Bomb actually does hit the 1-drop starting with a popsicle. Nay actually missed the 1-drop.
Insane. That's insane. But the aggro decks in this Range of Far are just so overtly aggressive. Like it's just, it can't really do anything. No fun. There in this first couple weeks of this meta, there is no fun to be had, because your opponent is going to put characters down. They are questing for 2. They're questing for 2. They're questing for 6. They're questing for 9. They're going hard. So it's very, very difficult to get some kind of fun Scarab deck going, or even you got to have answers to the aggressive. Yeah, that's where we are in this meta, I believe.
Absolutely. Nay does go for the Smee this time. We actually ink our second Tipo because we had the sale, so we are potentially set up for that super goof if we have it. I had the unfortunate experience of playing against Beyond the Horizon last night, which someone did to me on turn 3. I was like, that's fun for you. No thanks. No thanks. I'm good.
Oh man, that card is going to be an absolute menace going into Ran and Jafar, as we got the Cobra. So you are on Cobra technology, and you're going to kick.
Gives up a genie. Wow,
that's a big give, man. Maybe it's an ink situation.
Maybe, yeah. I would assume it's an ink situation, because I would assume you would want the card draw. If nothing else. I mean, and until he gets the shark out, nothing else can challenge this card, so it's pretty safe until the shark appears. So I don't know, maybe just really wanted that extra lore, like you said. Maybe he's got other genies and rabbits, and he says, I just need the ink, as the super goof does come through and gives me the old sorry pal. Sends him right to the discard pile.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying not to get brawled or something, or maybe he has an abundance of other genies in hand right now. That could also be a possibility, as we're going to go ahead and sing the friends, electing not to banish this goof.
That makes me think, surely we have a
fox.
A fox, right? Like, I would be surprised that we would expose the snake to another super goof hit.
And
No?
it is
Okay, so
another
we do have
genie.
another genie.
But Snake can't. Snake would, if you do hit the Snake, you'll gain your 2 lore, but you will banish the Goofy in that exchange.
So maybe
But
Nay's just willing to take that trade, just saying, I'll let you get the lore if it gets the character off the board, and I'll keep mine.
Maui is what's afraid to me. But Vision of the Future is going to be the play. I would have been so terrified to lose that freaking Cobra to a Maui with that goof still just lingering. But and he's saying so you didn't even get your lore in the process. So we're just staring down here as we take a little Vision of the Future. Do you have another card that you can play for 2?
If you're J-Bomb, do you just run this goof in anyway, get your lore? Or do you value like trying to keep it around for some reason?
I think I keep it around because Goof is a very capable singer in this situation. I just leave him ready, and you don't have to really worry about anything. And your opponent's going to have to keep questing. But I wouldn't quest it. I wouldn't exert it. Yeah, I just leave him there. And maybe if you get to how far I'll go. Goofy sang that song quite well in the previous round, as we saw.
As we did, yeah. As we heard his beautiful pipes. Well, it definitely paid off for Nate then. Got the free friends on the other side there and no punishment for it, if you consider that a punishment. Again, the Snake would have stuck around, so
for sure.
It's not like it's a clean 1-1 trade or anything.
And now Nay is trying to figure something out. You got this. You have this Genie now is dry, so you'll be able to get at least 3 lore come back your way. And there's another. So you are Genie to the gills. That's probably what happened. And that's why you had to discard that other Genie.
I hope we quest with this Genie. I hope we don't sing. Okay, so there's a broom. We are going wide. I think our opponent's only on 5 ink, right? So we're not. You're not afraid to be prepared yet.
Yeah, they're going into 6 ink turn. So maybe they're back on Medusa. Maybe the Deucer can come in here on turn number
drop
6.
the old Deucer on the board.
Like a Deucer. I'm a big deuce. I'm a big deuce.
He likes those big Deucers.
I'm a Deuce gang. I'm Deuce gang, dude, and he is not. We're going to be Shark gang, and we're going to get a quick heal in on the Goof, who is maybe just trying to play around a potential strength, but this would be a phenomenal strength. If you can go character strength here, you're on your way. Hopefully you hard-fisted a Shark answer because you knew this guy was coming.
Yeah. And this will be the difference between whether they have the B prepper. Like, you're not going to B prep your own Shark unless you're absolutely desperate. So we would love to see not only like what would be perfect for Nate here is to sing a Zeus and then drop Pete to protect against the B.
That would be amazing. That would be a great line of play if you had that available, but it's going to be Rabbit. Oh, so no Pete.
Oh man.
And now this board
we didn't banish the broom. Did we forget?
I think he's talking about the bag right now potentially. But he didn't quest it though, so I think it's too late to banish.
It will be a lost lore if we do decide to do that.
Yeah.
Always quest first with your brooms, folks. If you manage to.
And we're still quest with him now.
A bit of drop.
There we go.
Okay. I was like, hold on, don't leave that broom exposed to that Shark.
Or the Goof. Goof could heal him quite easily.
Too.
And you had the strength all along.
Oh, nice.
Very good. And now you got a nice heavy quest coming in for a 4-piece going all the way up to 12. So this board is very preppable, but they've got to have it also quite Sisu-able in this situation. But you don't have Sisu. You don't have enough ink for Sisu yet.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
Nate was in a weird spot there that he had to get 5 bodies in order to hit the Shark. But I think that's just going to open him right up for a be prepared. And we're looking, is it coming? Goof's a questing?
Yep. No, we're challenging. He wants a lore. I like that play. And then you prep. Yeah, that's very heads up from J-Bomb. You will gain a card from Nay, who is had to figure that was going to be coming. But again, you got stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that Maui Half Shark was super potent last time. And he's going to be just as potent this time. So you had to get rid of him early. So I don't hate to commit.
As
and now Pete
comes out one turn too late.
I wonder if he had the Pete and went Rabbit instead.
Yeah, I wonder too. So if he did, maybe you could have gone in on a line where you didn't try to overcommit to and you just did like a broom cycle. But either way, Tamato is coming out. Only going to get 1 popsicle this time. So half the value that it normally gets.
For sure. And he is a pretty sizable fighter, notably. This guy can put hands on people with that 4 or 5.
He's got those big pinchers, man. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, he can tee off on this Pete. You're just drawing some cards here with your friend on the other side trying to reserve your ink. But this guy, and he got a heal too. So he's going to be able to crack into this Pete and heal, or this Smee, and be able to regain some health with the popsicle. Very interesting. Let's see how we're going to approach this one. You're sitting at 12. You got to start questing. I think you
Yeah.
gotta just start getting there, huh? With the
Well,
12
and
getting
you,
up to
I like your idea about challenging with Tamatoa as well. That usually these Sharkburn decks don't run anything like Lucky Dime, where you want the Tamatoa to cheat it in for free. So you're actually pretty free to go in and start just clopping heads with your big claws.
yeah, get him. Yeah, you don't have to worry. He's done his job. His job is to gain the popsicle and draw a card.
Mhm.
Check that off the box. He's done what you need him to do. Now he needs to engage in combat and keep this lore at bay. So if I'm Nay, I'm really contemplating on exerting. I don't think you have that much bounce in your deck. I'd like to see some bounce here. Do you have a snake? Do you have a
Yeah,
fox?
we haven't really seen much of that, have we?
Those effects I think are still quite good in this amethyst and steel deck to just redeploy a Pete, redeploy a
Mhm.
Smee, get them stood back up, and just keep questing. That's kind of how the Mambo train works, at least in my
Yeah.
experience, and I've seen. And we're going to think about it. Got the 3 ink. Maybe that's a fox. Who we rescuing? I think you're gonna rescue the Smee and redeploy him if you want.
Yeah, if you want the lore, you go for the Smee, but if you want to protect against another Be Prepared,
Oh,
well,
never
then you
mind.
just play another Pete. That's what you do.
And let's see if we have more characters coming in.
I don't know if you all can see it at home, but the amount of shark graphics I'm seeing just popping up all over is very funny. And shark infested waters we got here. Well,
so-
JDZ, yeah, you got your wish.
Thank-
There's your bounce.
And we do go ahead and recover the Pete. So I think you could would you recover the Pete there? Would you recover the Smee? I think Pete is probably correct. So you could just start doing the mambo. This is the mambo
Yeah.
that we've kind of talked about. Just resetting these characters, quest, bounce, and all that. Let's see if we can get another goofinating the
goofining. That's a new M. Night Shyamalan film, The Goofining.
You've been goofed.
Right?
In a world.
This summer, fear flies south for the winter. Yuck.
So stupid. That's so good. You've been goofed.
What's wrong with our neighbor? He's been staring at me all day, and it's just like a slight camera on his eyes, looking through the blinds. He's here. Gosh.
Will Gosh. The perfect cast. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
So we got another one, another Tamatoa. We get another popsicle. So just these guys are actually doing a very phenomenal job of keeping this board at bay, keeping Nay from being able to just exert freely. You got 2 Tamatoas that are just able to just clean up, get the popsicles back, heal, knock out, and keep it moving. So 2 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand, and we're gonna keep the Pete train rocking and rolling. White Rose, so no more bounce though.
So 15, quest 16, 17. This is going to guarantee. So again, there's no actions this turn. So 18, 19.
Yeah.
So as long as we have GOAT or any way to just get that instant lure, we're going to win next turn.
Absolutely. You know they got it. That confidence, the confidence on that quest was just too much.
Yeah.
And the speed in which they're putting it in the discard is too much. I think Nair is just really indicating that they have it. You can see the body position is sped up. You can feel the emotion. You can hear. You can just sense that they got it. Okay, this is someone who has it right now. Either it's going to be bounce or it's going to be some GOAT. The leg, you see the leg is shaking. You guys can't see it at the top of the screen, but CC is indicating that they got it, and it looks like we are going to Hades.
Hades is a good answer. Pulls one of that lore off the board. Now you can get 18, but now you need like GOAT and a bounce, which
quest
is so quick.
Cobra.
Oh,
It don't even matter. Yeah, that was the
and we had the
speed.
GOAT too, so we were ready.
Dude, Hades was almost a backbreaker there, and he almost got it done. As J-Bomb almost got there. I mean, close. Almost was able to turn the corner and get control of the board, but at a certain point, Nay was just too inevitable with that immediate lore grab that they had access to. The goats and the roses and the cobras. I like this deck a lot. Do you think this deck's gonna be good going to the next set? The Amethyst
I
Steel?
think so. I think these colors are always, even if it doesn't use a whole lot of the new stuff, just what the package it has right now, and nothing's come out to really stop that package. Pete in particular is such a game warping card. Like if I was ever to do a top 10 list of most frustrating feelings in Lorcana, along with having your hand discarded, a Pete coming down, and you look and you've got like 7 actions that could do something this turn, and you're like, well, I'm not allowed to use any of these. So
I wonder if they're going to keep making effects like Pete, because he is just
I hope not.
he is just one of the best cards in the game too. But the thing about Pete is that he is necessary. Imagine this game without Pete. And my analogy, I say he's like bumblebees, or he's like You know, he's like algae. He's like it's bad. You don't like it. You don't like it when it's ruining your picnic, but they're so important to the environment of the game. Like you need to have Pete, or the game is just going to be so silly. Like it's going to be a silly game without Pete.
I understand the idea of Pete. I think in a game with no interaction on your opponent's turn, it feels bad to have that. I can't do anything about that. There's no counter spell. There's no thing I could do. And I think it doesn't help either that for some reason with an effect that strong, he's inkable and he's a 3/3 on curve body. Like that's the kind of card I would expect to be like a 1/1 uninkable, but it has this crazy strong effect. It's like no, he's just a standard great 3/3 with
same. He's got big Tipo energy. That's what Pete has. Big Tipo energy. You're too good. You relax, pal. Like be weaker, be worse, be uninkable. Cost 4. Like uninkable 4s, Pete. I think people still figure out a way to play.
Absolutely, that'd be very different.
Yeah, he'd still be a good card, but a little bit worse. You're too good. Like Gantu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then he sings, or if you're in steel green, he has that great shift target into the big captain where he's
Insane.
like, oh my gosh, this card just and that one, like playing that against Steel Song, 3 cost Pete, you can't do anything. Okay, shift Pete, now you can't sing anything. It's like all right, I'll just sit here and watch you play, I guess.
Oh, and that's the saddest part is that Pete's gonna be here for a long time. Like he's not getting rotated out. He's just got in. So we're gonna have a nice little year of the Pete. And I for one welcome our Pete overlords, dude.
He's gonna be on the new Chinese zodiac calendar. Is it year of the dragon or ox? Oh, it's actually year of the Pete right now. That's
what it's gonna be. I guarantee Steel is. But once he's gone, I think Steel's gonna take a hit, depending on what cards they print and how the power levels they are. It's gonna be a tough time balancing that. But I think Pete might get repeated. He might get reprinted and repeated.
The reprint Pete, the repeat. How do we say that?
Repeated printed. Repeat the print.
You know, pointing out something from the last game too, Nay did go in on the Smee line, and even with the Smee getting punished by the Super Goof, you know, that was 2 extra lore that you wouldn't have had otherwise, and maybe that was enough to help close that one out.
And I'm telling you, if you can get at least that's not my theory. I didn't make this up. I heard this from somewhere. So just take it with you in your travels as I took it with me in mine. But if you can, in this purple steel deck, if you can get all of your cards to represent 2 lore, that's it. That's all you need. You can just squeeze 2 lore out of all your guys. Okay, all your things. If it's Cobra, boom. If it's a rabbit, if rabbit can go for 2. If your friends can draw 2 more cards that can go for 2 or whatever, I think you just win the game. So there it is. So and you know the card advantage. A lot of people like to try to play this card advantage game or get into this control game. Maybe that's not. Maybe it's not even that important. Just getting to the lore, like this Diablo. If he can go for 2 or give you another card that can go for 1, that counts as him going for 2.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's something when I teach people, and like I was teaching my girlfriend, I always talk about a card doing its job. Like if this Diablo gets 2 lore, oh my gosh, that's way more than its whole job is just to get out there and be banished anyway. So.
Yeah, he overperform. If he can go for 2, I've seen Diablos go for like 4.
I know.
Or 5 sometimes.
Some players they're scared to hit it, right? Because it's like, well, I don't want to give you another card. It's like, well, you got to get rid of it eventually.
You're gonna give me. Yeah, you might as well go ugly early. Get that card into the discard pile. Stop this guy from questing because that's how you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And if you ever play against a purple steel player or amethyst steel player and they give you Diablo for 3, you're losing. There it is. You've already lost. The game is over. And let's see what we're gonna do here. If we're gonna elect to see if we can quest this Diablo now, or will we say I'm a hold? Maybe you'll try to set up some kind of crab shenanigans. I'm buying crab.
What we're seeing right now is the difference between going first and second, right? This Diablo won't even get a single lore because it has to respect the Super Goof because you have gone second. So now if it quests, like the Smee is one thing because at least the Super Goof gets 3 damage on it, but you do not want the Diablo to just go away for free off a Super Goof.
For sure. And the Tipo just getting there, just menacing, dude.
Yeah,
just
your
holding it down.
Tipo.
Oh man, I'm telling you right now, you talk about a card. That guy's gonna be around for a while too. And Sale, the right, he's gonna be around for a long time.
Oh yeah. I talked about it in my video about Red Blue that deck used to commonly run 19 to 20 uninkables, but cards like Tipo and Sale have brought that number into line with all the other decks. So it's no longer that like risk to playing that deck.
And I concur mightily, as we're gonna have to. I think we're just kind of hanging out here, just trying to keep that Diablo around. Probably trying to set up a really strong Strength of Raging Fire, or just trying to insulate your board. Maybe trying to protect. Maybe trying to set up your opponent to quest, and then you can put a crab play together. I think that's what you're alluding to, as J-Bomb would be remiss not to go for it, seeing how far I'll go, and that will line up with a crab play quite nicely. But maybe J-Bomb is on alert, high alert J-Bomb,
Yeah.
and electing not to do that. Maui's going to be up tempo.
Just
Like,
show, oh man,
He's got Pete on play. Never mind, he can't sing.
0 lore on like turn 4 or 5 is not where you want to be as purple gray.
At all. No. I'm
And Nate
I'm
could
a
have
little
taken a
afraid.
risk. Like we saw J-Bomb ink a super goof, so you could take the risk. Well, maybe he doesn't have the second one, but obviously we would have been punished by the Maui regardless. But you're also not going to win the game by just standing here. So I don't know what Nate does, but we got to find a way to start breaking this board down. Well, that's a good start. Is fire the cannons on a small child. We'll just blow him into the atmosphere.
Just blast off there, preparing to team rocket out of there. You're going to quest this Diablo now, probably trying to set some bait potentially, or maybe you got a little bit of bounce action. But if you're going to bounce, I'm thinking you're bouncing that Smee or maybe bouncing that Pete potentially.
I don't think you care too much if like Maui eats up the Diablo. Yeah, it doesn't put any damage up. But again, he draws his card. He got a lore. So as long as you're not getting the lore off the super goof, I think you're probably okay with the alternative. Which is look like, did we not ink that turn? Ooh, we might be having an inking issue.
That's probably true. Could be a lot of genie. We saw that they were playing genies and rabbits and Zeus's. Typically, that's going to equal brick ability right there. Not ink ability. You're just going to be bricking. As Grandma Tall is going to get a brick city. You got genies. You got maybe there's docks in there too. Just throw them all in there and get loose and see if that's going to work out for you. As Grandma Tall is going to get quest
running
off.
a dock. We haven't seen that yet, have we?
I don't think you can't be on genies, docks, and rabbits. That's insane.
Well, yeah,
and
that is a lot.
And fire the cannon. That's a lot of no ink in your deck there. It's too much.
Well reasoned, sir. That would be very excessive. As Maui is duplicating himself, here comes the shark, and this is looking very, very good for J-Bomb as Big Maui. Well, I guess they're both Big Maui. Hero to all Maui will take out the Diablo.
So you can potentially go ahead and set up a turn for Zeus to clear that big Maui, but it will take all of your tempo to pull that off. Your entire turn will be dedicated to that. And is that good enough? Or maybe you just set up a 4-call singer right now and then maybe do it next turn.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if that's going to be what Nay is going to do. Thinking about what you got to do. You did skip 1 ink, which already feels pretty bad.
Yeah. And you can't, again, you can't quest in front of the shark. So we do have the genie. We've got the singer established. Question is, can we find the Zeus? And we're still 2 more characters away from being able to put out something like Strength of a Raging Fire.
Or you probably send someone in as a scapegoat to lure the Maui in. They will get back to how far I'll go. I think that's the only action they have in the discard right now. Pete goes on into the Grandma Tala and electing not to quest. You can't even quest in the face of this Maui either, because Maui will just double back and take out Smee as well. So you're going to reluctantly just pass it back on over to J-Bomb, who is in the driver's seat again. You do have that singer established. Brawl here is the punish.
Yeah. Well, and this situation right here, JDZ, is why Ruby Amethyst is my favorite deck, because I know, hey, I've always got the be prepared to reset this board, because otherwise you have to manually take out each of these sharks one by one. Like, you don't have this big savior card that comes in and cleans it up. And I mean, I hope Nay's got courage, because I'm feeling despair right now. Oh my God, there's 2 sharks in this water and a normal one. And I know it's a deck that just gets stronger the longer the game goes on. Like, oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, honestly, I would feel so bad if I had Zeus in my hand. You try to set up this sing play and boom, all things were looking great. And now you got to freaking hard cast this thing potentially, or play another singer and go double Zeus, because you got double the shark, double the trouble, and you do have a second genie deployment.
Well, we got the double singer. Obviously, we can't just use 1 this turn. I mean, we could, but it'd be very, very risky. Okay, so we're getting kind of wide. Now, the nice thing is because J-Bomb has established such a big board, perhaps Nay is trying to use the threat of his own be prepared against and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to go super wide. You can be prep me, but you're also now knocking out some of your best cards by doing that.
Oh, absolutely. So you are trying to sell, I think you're selling a potential strength and Zeus, because you sold Zeus quite hard. And now you add another character to the field of play. You can then turn around and sing strength and Zeus to clear both of these sharks. And if you can clear both of these sharks before they can get to the Tamatoa, you could potentially run away, because J-Bomb's only holding on to 2 cards. Your resources are getting quite low as well. But man, now you're also getting to Sisu area, and that's just going to be a problem. Sisu's terrible for you. You don't want to see that guy either.
Yeah, Sisu would wreck this board. That would be very bad for Nay. Very good for J-Bomb.
So we are playing on house money here. A little bit of borrowed time on one person or the other.
These animations are cracking me up. I love these. Oh my goodness. As we see, develop your brain. It's going to be
Inking.
full 8. I think you called it.
Oof.
There's Big Sisu. Man, she is going to say, this is not the wish you want to grant, Genie, as he's blown off the board along with Diablo.
Yeah, it might be that might have been the absolute final nail into the proverbial coffin, as Nay has to feel terrible. The wind is out of the sails. Like you said, how great would it be if you could just respond with your own be prepared here in this spot?
Yeah, that's what you want so badly, because now you have another card that you essentially need to use Zeus on, and it quests for 3. So you cannot. You have 3 threats you have to answer right now. Like, if Nay can pull this off, this will be the win of all wins, the victories of a lifetime.
Oh, I looked at the lore, and you're only sitting at 1 as well. So yeah,
this one.
Yeah,
I think so you don't have that option, right? Of like, well, let me just cheese the extra 5 lore really quick. Like, you have to take the long road. You're at the bottom of the mountain right now, Mr. Quest. You got to go to the top of it.
I think this one, that Sisu was a game deciding Sisu. I think that is going to be a pretty much an insurmountable return. Granted, you can go to Scoop City, but there's really no point. Just going to try to play it out, as J-Bomb is pretty much assembling the victory position. And with these double sharks in, even any song or any action is going to give you an additional 2 as well. How good is this card? What were they thinking?
And it's thinkable.
What was that design team going through when they made this guy? Holy moly! Donut shout! As we got a
Tamatoa too. It made me wonder. Is like maybe somebody just really likes Moana on the design team. So like,
I think so.
Moana card's really good too.
I would totally think so. As you can even play a Vision of the Future here, or develop your wow.
Oh my goodness. There's your singing shark. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. As that's going to be 3 lore there. Our opponent goes to 0. There's 7. There's 8, 9, 10. We just jumped halfway to our victory condition in 1 turn. Well, Nay, thanks for coming. It's been a pleasure having you on, but
I'm at a loss for words. It feels bad. It does feel bad.
Oh, it does. Yeah. It's turn 9, and you're supposed to be the aggressive deck, and you're on 0 lore.
We're finally gonna have to reluctantly send in the Zeus. And do you have another one that you can hard cast? And I don't think I can't even say you're back, because I can't even say you're back. You have to continue to quest. But now you got this shark who can now clear the Genie and get back the Pirate's life, and then sing it again.
Actually doesn't protect the Genie. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. The shark was going to get a card regardless. Fox does clean up the sea. I mean, this was a pretty solid turn for Nay, all things considered.
And you go snake here, and you're back, dude. You're not back, but you're
not back. But yeah,
you're saved a little bit. You got another turn.
Did about as much protection, within a turn as you could.
Pete. Okay, it'll stop the Pirate's life. Will be redeployed, but it'll at least stop them from activating it this turn. Your hand is still looking okay, but this one might be for the books, as you have the Maui half shark who can clear the Genie, getting back that Pirate's life.
He technically hasn't even challenged yet, and he's like, "Yeah, I know it's gone. He just got rid of it."
Yeah, it's out of here, dude. And we're gonna go for the how far I'll go. Interesting maneuver there. I thought I would go for the Pirate's life and just try to wrap this thing up nice and tidy, as we'll get a heal in and a quest.
I would assume that's a feeling that's showing the confidence that J-Bomb is feeling right now. Is like I've completely got this in the bag. I have 10 lore over my opponent. I don't even need to shrink their lore as another shark. Oh my goodness. Where was the Coast Guard telling us how invested these waters were? You can't let us swim out here. What's going on?
We're gonna sing Friends just for the vibes, I think, just to see what we can get to. And I think that's gonna be a sing Friends right into a scoop, unless
Yeah, I think Pete will be joining them on the other side very shortly. Because he ain't long in these waters, I'll just say that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, he's got friends on the other side, to include myself. I'll be there with you.
I'll be there with him shortly, because I'm about to get devoured whole by this shark.
And we'll just have to pass there. Yeah. And we can get a how far I'll go and then get it back. Come on, man.
Come
Wait,
on.
can we how many sharks is I'm
Yeah.
scooping.
I-
How
well, and
many?
this is like illegal, right? Like there's usually only one alpha shark in the area. So like I don't think they can all be in the same ecosystem like this. Like somebody
Yeah.
call, I don't know, who beats up, is there anyone who fights sharks for a living? Call them. They would get them out here.
This has gotta and he still just took out the Pete with the Maui, which is trying to save some ink, but I think could have even got some pirates' lives there and maybe even saying that thing.
Sharks with freaking
won the
laser
game,
beams
I
on their
think, right?
heads.
Or no,
Good
I'm
lord,
missing something.
man.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
mean, at this point, it's like playing with your food.
They'll
right?
be
You
into
can eat
interview
them
here
any
in just
way
a
you
minute.
want
Yeah.
to.
All right, sweet.
That game was absolutely
I got it.
whoo, man, that one hurt. All right, we're gonna switch over, man. We're gonna talk to these players and let's see. They'll pick it up here. Wow. What a game. What a hole. As J-Bomb comes on in, the MVP 6-man of the year, coming in in an emergency situation. This is the second time you've done that this season, and you came out and got the dub both times over your opponent, Nairuan. I'm sure I've said that wrong multiple times, but I want to thank you both for coming out and playing. I thought it was a fantastic match, as I think they all are. But that game 3 just kind of got away really, really out of hand with all those sharks. So J-Bomb, you're back in set 7. You're still playing Ruby Sapphire, back in the dojo, not in the commentary booth. Can you talk about that deck in context of set 7? And then I want to hear some of your thoughts on that strategy going into set 8.
Yeah, I just love this deck. I mean, DKP pioneered a great list. I'm a little greedier than him, so you may have seen the Maleficent Dragon in there. And so I'd like to play a little more high-end removal because it kind of forces your opponents to use removal on that 7/5. And so, but this deck, it doesn't have a bad matchup. And so when I'm bringing things to set champs, I like to be able to kind of let my player skill get me through the early rounds, and then hopefully I can just get a little lucky in the top cut and get out a championship mat there. And so this deck does really, really good when people make small mistakes. You just capitalize and snowball really, really quick.
Okay, we did see. You said you're playing the DKP special. I saw the Super Goose in there. Were you playing Max Super Goose? We saw the Hades, the Infernal Scamros in there. Can you just talk about how those cards perform for you normally? And is there any regrets on playing those cards in this type of deck?
No, the Super Goof saved me game 1, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, DKP loves the Super Goof. I play 3 Super Goof and cut 1 for a brawl just in case I hit those Diablo decks, because the strategy versus Diablo decks with this is let them have the Diablo until I can be prepared or Sisu. And so I don't love that strategy, so having 1 brawl just gives me a little comfort versus those Diablo style decks.
Okay. But it worked out for you this time, man. I think that game number 1, as Red Rose here is watching as well. Shout out to Red Rose, man. We were checking you out, and it seemed like it was kind of back and forth until that Maui half shark just hit the board, and he wasn't able to clear it effectively, man. So is that still the strategy, man? To get the shark up and just protect the base, and hopefully that's going to be good enough.
Yeah, versus Amethyst Steel, the strategy is just get the shark out, hope it lives, and then make sure I have a Pirate's Life in the discard. Because if you don't have a Pirate's Life, they can easily get to that 20 lore. Especially with this version that my opponent was playing with the Giant Cobras and the White Roses. It's just really hard to stop them once they get that early start. Lucky, all 3 games I did have Tipo, which is one of the most important aspects of winning this matchup, because it stops the small Diablos and Chernobyls and Brooms from just getting a bunch of free lore.
For sure. Okay. Red Rose, you got any questions for J-Bomb? I'm sorry, I'm over here taking all the questions, man. I know.
Yeah, I was enjoying it. I was loving listening to it. And you opened very strong every game. The T-bows, the ramps. You even had multiple for a lot of those games, which is nice. You just kind of get them out of the way. But yeah, I mean, what's that? Sorry.
All 3 games I think I opened with 3 Tipo.
Oh, geez.
Oh, you did.
He was anxious to jump into your hand. I was mentioning to JDZ about the shark that he almost has this hidden text of your opponent cannot quest in front of him, which is, I felt very bad for Nay being on the side of many sharks myself, where it's just, you can't even accurately quest out because then the shark just punishes you. And like you said, if the pirate's life is just sitting there, it's just a death sentence to do that. So yeah, the shark absolutely showing just how insane that card is in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, and we can bring Nay in right here while we can. And unfortunately, that game number 3 was very, very hard to watch. We can see that you were trying to set up a Zeus Sing situation, or maybe even a Zeus Storm situation, or Zeus Strength situation to clear the 2 sharks. But then once that Sisu hit the board, it was just a complete backbreaker. Can you just talk about this matchup in a nutshell and how it typically goes for you? And is it more along the lines of this? Because the Super Goof is quite strong. The lack of it was just so much shark, man.
I mean, it's exactly that. The Sharks, once they hit the board, it was like, well, I can't let him get, because I believe it was game 1 where he already had the Pirate's Life into the discard. And I was like, well, I can't give that to him. Right. So it's basically what you said. It's like I just have to sit there and look at my board and be like, man, it would be awesome to quest.
Yeah.
But
and you just gotta kind of stare down. I mean, once you realize what matchup you're facing up against, was there some times where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna keep this shark answer and just wait for him to put it out and then just clear it and keep it moving? Was that your game plan?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once I knew he was playing red blue, it was like, okay, so I gotta prioritize finding my Zeuses. I gotta keep the strengths in my hand. Mainly my strategy was for this is just try to go wide with enough Diablos or rabbits or anything. That way when the Sisu or the B prep does come, then I could just replenish my hand pretty quickly. Unfortunately, it just didn't land that way, and I didn't get the 1 drop, which is like crucial for me.
Yeah.
Like just get that momentum going. I didn't get it in game 3, so it's just like, so
for sure.
But hey, he had it, and then it was just like there was blood in the water in game 3. I just couldn't move.
Right.
That was actually disgusting in that game number 3. But we saw in game number you missed. There was a turn where you had to skip ink, where you're having like some ink ability issues.
Yeah, I had rabbits and genies.
Oh, I hate to see it. Yeah,
I had rabbits and genies.
That stinks, but it is what it is. I mean, it does suck to have it go out like that, but I still think that strategy is quite good. Is this something that you're going to try to keep playing going into the next set?
Well, no, I'm kind of going away with this. This was what I was using for set championships and had a little bit of success on it. But I'm actually starting to look at, and my teammates are going to say I'm a hypocrite for this. I'm starting to look at Emerald Steel discard.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Beyond the Horizon. I think that makes that deck quite formidable. So I will be looking at. I'll be looking forward to not playing against you. So let's have that. Let's have that be what it is. But Reg, you got any questions for Nairuan? How do you say your name, by the way?
Yeah, you guys were talking about that last time, so I think we discussed it. So Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Goddess Nehru, and then add A-N. Nehruan. Or just call me Nay. Just call me Nay.
Nay. That's what we're saying. I think that's what we started doing. I think that's what we started doing.
I guess I'll ask about, so Fire the Cannons, I'm assuming mainly against either aggro or potential Diablo counter, right? Is there another reason you're running that one?
That was in there for the Diablos, or just like one little tick, like on a like if I were to have the Calhoun out or anything, I can go ahead and get 2 damage like on a 4 or a 5 health, and then be able to just like clear it down. I don't really know why it's still in there. Thank God for set 8.
Right. Well, and a card I always kind of compare to that one is the Baboom, which is obviously the same amount of damage, but it costs 1 more, but it's inkable. Is it just the cost? Is you need that 1 cost versus that 2 cost?
It's the cost. It's always the cost. It's uninkable, but still, it's way better value.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like it. Okay. A little Fire the Cannons action, and it kind of worked out a couple times in that match.
Well, that particular time was when I had the genies and the rabbits in my hand, and I couldn't even ink, so I was just like, well, might as well kill something. So
my prediction was right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. But J-Bom, I got another question for you, and I wrote this down. Okay, those sleeves you have, they are absolutely disgusting, dude. You need to get some new sleeves immediately. Okay,
I got 100 pack.
You got 100 pack?
Gross.
Okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking by the way. But seriously, get some new sleeves in there and get those things fixed. But congratulations to you on your win, and thanks for coming in at such short notice and getting another victory. You are going to be the sixth man of the year, I think, coming in off the bench player of the year for sure. Not in the rotation, but we're going to get out of here because we got one more round that we need to play, and we're going to see if we're going to get Sauce K and we're going to get Baymax up in the building for round number 3. So I kick it over to you, Nehruan. Let's go ahead and hear the floor is yours. Any special shout outs you want to give, anything got coming up, go ahead and the floor is yours.
Special shout outs go to, as always, back at the Inknights. Next episode of Beyond the Ink should be coming out soon, which I think actually features you, Mr. JDZ.
Features me?
It features you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot that happened. No, I thought. Oh yeah.
Bundy's like, "Are you sure?" I don't think
I thought that was just for fun. Okay, I will be.
I mean,
let's go.
I edited the video and I had to sit there and look at you for like a solid 2 hours. So,
oh man, hopefully that was not. Please, just delete it, please. Don't upload it.
It's great. So go check that out. Everybody back at Inknights. J-Bomb, it was great, man. Thank you for the match.
For sure. Well, I'm looking forward to watching it, or I won't watch it. I can't watch videos myself, but I'll like it and subscribe, and I'll follow. Obviously, I'm already subscribed, but we'll check it out. But J-Bomb, we'll kick it over to you, the winner, coming out getting the dub. Ruby Sapphire back at it again. Any shout outs you want to give before we wrap this thing up and prepare for round number 3?
Yeah, I should probably thank my wife because today's my 3-year anniversary, and so she let me emergency come in and play this. So she's probably not the happiest with me right now, but I'll go hang out with her the rest of the night, and so glad to have 3 years there. And then more important, or not that, I shouldn't say that. No,
finish your sentence. Don't
start a sentence like that, J-Bomb, please. Think of your health. Okay.
And then World Class Cards, they have their double 5K on Saturday and Sunday. The first triple deck tournament, 20LorePro is going to be casting it. It's going to be a great event. So it's in Wisconsin. If you can still sign up. There's a couple spots left. So get out there if you can. It's going to be awesome time. There's always a bunch of free giveaways and just a great time.
Absolutely.
Also, thank for you guys for organizing this. It's always fun. Thanks to Inknights for having a great match. I'd love to not play against Amethyst Steel one time in this tournament in the ICL, but we'll see.
Never. Absolutely, J-Bomb. Well, thanks for playing, man. And again, thanks for coming in short notice. I hope you have a great anniversary, and I hope you have a great tournament this weekend, man. And you guys got to get out there and get it done. But thank you, gentlemen, both for coming out and participating. We'll let you guys both go on to cheer on your fellow organizations as we are going to get prepared for round number 3. We will see you. All right, here we go. Oh, there it is. I'll learn how to click these buttons some of these days. One day it's going to happen. It's 2 buttons, but I cannot click the 2 buttons.
One day.
But one day it's going to happen. But I need to hear the full story about you going to Australia. But we'll save that for another time because I got to know, why are you just casually going to Australia?
I would be happy to tell you. It is a tale worth telling.
Okay. We'll have to save that for another time. But Rudros, in the meantime, in between time, I got to thank you so much again for coming in.
My pleasure.
It was a pleasant surprise to see you here in the dojo with me. It's always lots of fun, and I will always remember Super Goof singing "How Far I'll Go" on the top of the mountains and all that. But
I feel like every time you and I get to do this together, I always just I come away smiling. So thank you for being so fun. Hey, check me out at Rudros TCG on YouTube if you hadn't. I'll be putting out some deck techs and such for this upcoming set. And if you have any interest in the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set, I'll probably be streaming some on Arena because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. So check that out as well.
Let's go. Redrose expanding the boom a little bit. Well, I'll be checking it out. I like a little Final Fantasy myself. You know what I'm saying? I'll check.
Man of class. I always knew you were.
Let's go. Well, Redrose, I think we're going to let you go because we got one more round. Go ahead and get some rest, man. And thanks for coming in and being a part of the ICL. I enjoy the time that we shared together.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Bye.
But Redrose will be replaced by none other than you know her, you love her. Coming straight to you from the Lore Keepers Inn, we have the incomparable, the amazing, the creative, and classy Katie.
What an introduction! I'm just here. I'm so good at it. Everybody should have an intro like that. So thank you. Am I muted? No.
You're not. I can hear you.
Thank goodness. Okay, that would have been so terrible.
Let's
How are
go.
you? How has these past 2 rounds been? You know, I watched a little bit. I was cooking. I was
Okay.
like not cooking, like she's cooking. Like
You were actually cooking. You were legitimately cooking. Wait a minute. This is a lot of Stitch we got going on here.
I thought we had a Wesley coming in. I thought a Sir Ashtown.
During your time while you were actually cooking, Sir Ashtown was recalled to duty at the
Okay.
hospital. So he had to step out, and J-Bomb had to fill in, and he was victorious in round number 2. Clara went down in round number 1, so we got an all-important game number 3 on an ICL on a Wednesday. Keep it locked, don't touch that dial. Game number 3, it all comes down to this. Sasuke versus Jeff Jones. Who? Jeff Jones. Who?
How
Jeff
long does that go
Jones.
on? Because I mean, I feel like we've done it. Not like the bit. The bit goes on forever for sure.
In the
But
actual
like,
song?
Who?
Yeah.
It depends. It depends how many. How many?
Yeah.
It depends on which song. If you're playing
Okay.
Steel Tipping, I think he says it a few times. Candy Paint with Stay Flossing. There's a few songs where he references himself as Mike Jones. Who is Mike Jones? I think he says it maybe 60, 70 times in there. So it's
so
quite a
we're
few.
going to find out that this poor man is suffering from short-term memory loss, and you know our thoughts are with him and his family. But we're going here, so it does look like Sasuke might be running the list that Sure Ashtown was running. Is this correct that he must commit to the list?
I'm not certain. I am not certain. I think maybe they all had to submit their own lists. And J-Bomb, because I know J-Bomb submitted his own list and played his own list.
Okay.
And he's the one who replaced Sir Ashtown.
That is absolutely not the same list. So it's topsy-turvy night. So I love it. So we got Amethyst Steel versus
Amber Steel.
Amber Steel. Okay, good. So this will be interesting because I do feel like Amethyst has some draw edge. They can definitely, because you know both are going to have access to removal, but I feel like Amethyst just kind of can rock you with some pretty annoying card draw. But what are your kind of thoughts about this matchup? It's looking like the more aggro build, knowing that we see a Captain Piglet Poop Pirate Captain on the board.
Right. If it were a more traditional build, I'd like to give the edge to the Amber Steel player with the traditional build. But this aggressive build, I kind of lean a little bit more towards the Amethyst Steel because they have the Foxes. Fox is key. Pete is key. Bouncing Pete is key. So it's going to be depending on how much of those effects Sasuke elected to leave into the deck. I know some players are removing snakes from the deck, and you're not going to be able to redeploy those Petes and repeat as much as you want, even though this aggressive deck doesn't play as many songs. What about you? What do you think? You play a lot of Amber and Steel. What are your thoughts on this matchup? How does it typically go for you? I know your husband plays Amethyst Steel too. You got a lot of reps on the mirror.
He did for one weekend, and then he won with it, and he's like, "This is my deck." And isn't that how it goes? That it's your deck when you win, and then the deck starts losing. You're like, "Actually, this deck is silly, and I don't like it anymore." But in this case, he did see some success with it, and I do find that, you know, honestly, the Pete's become a little bit trickier because with you know, your whole new worlds. I mean, it's pretty transparent when some of the bigger songs are going to be sung when you have a mid-range Amber Steel song, and it can be a little trickier because now, you know, Mines is notably not an action, and the other ones, you know, right now there's no singers on the board. You might hard cast it. It just becomes a little bit harder, I think, to time it. It's less transparent.
But look at that, Katie. Look at this interesting development as the Seven Dwarfs Mine is going to go down to the Inkwell. So this is more of a diggy hole variety. Does that change your assessment at all, or are you still going to hold to your guns and say that the match is going to go the way that you think?
I'll never back down.
Okay, I like that.
No, but no, I do think that the one thing that might happen, and this is what happens when you play the Diggy Hole style deck, is you can get absolutely destroyed by your own deck. That you'll get to a point where now we see this Lawrence, which makes you believe that there is some kind of way where a Rapunzel might be coming, but otherwise it can be very hard, very grindy to get those cards, especially if Sasuke is using something like the library, which is a card drawing factory.
Yeah,
it's rough. It's a rough time. So
rough time all around. And now you do have those traps are set. So Rapunzel could potentially be on the beyond horizon, as Piglet seem like I'd probably throw this Piglet exerted right now and set some bait if I'm holding on to Rapunzel, or maybe even this Daisy Duck. Let's get this thing exerted as both players are kind of staring each other down here in these early turns of the game, setting up some push and pull. Sasuke 3 ink, 3 characters, and now we got a pretty much stalemate here.
Yeah, I will say the good news is knowing that finally we have a Lawrence on the board. Lawrence it doesn't look like it, but that man can swing a dulcet tune. So if he gets to stay up and active, as they say, he might be able to sing a song, onto himself, onto Daisy Duck, and the trap is unavoidable, but we shall see. And then at that point, all the momentum lost that Sasuke could have had, kind of feels bad. But we shall see if we are going to do the self-hurt. And no, we're just going to get the mine out there. And
you got a secondary penny is going to get down to the inkwell, so that's something to keep in mind of. That we have multiple pennies, and we're going to put the Lawrence into the mine and quest after bopping the Chernobog. So interesting developments here is that you can clear this mine with the 2 characters you have available, but again, that's going to be Rapunzel traps all over the place.
Yeah, and I will say that the one thing Amethyst has that is something that Amber struggles with is you can hit for quite a bit. We have 6 willpower on board. A crab suddenly makes that 9. So the mine is nice, but it is definitely something that's not impenetrable. And then also we've noticed that Daisy and Piglet, that's 5 lore he didn't get, and now we're seeing the songs where suddenly it's like, well, maybe I should have done some questing. Both of them have been kind of reserved, and we're seeing the downside of that. When you don't use your characters to do the things they're supposed to do, then you might never get the chance.
For sure. I'd love to see I've seen that Lawrence probably get taken down out of there to break up that potential Rapunzel trap. But I guess Daisy is also a Rapunzel user as well, as the Zeus is going to be deployed here. Full ink Zeus, and now the Lawrence is gone, and the Smee is going to go for 2 on the quest. So now you have a double Rapunzel trap. Do you have it? Coming in from Jeff Jones. They always have it. They never don't have it.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say it probably feels bad losing, 5 lore on the board without ever getting to do anything fun with it. But yeah, having that double removal on the same turn, it feels bad. But Jeff Jones can't sing with Daisy, but there are some song capabilities, and Daisy can deal 1, which, everything counts on that Smee. So we're going to see how he bounces back here. And this is... why did the docs come in 2? What's the science behind that, JVZ?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I do not know the theory of why docs come in 2s, but they definitely do. They stick together. My theory is that when you arrange your cards, sometimes when you're building your decks, you put the cards of like items side by side, and I believe that on an anatomical the neutrons and the protons of those card sleeves connect to one another, and they just want to be beside each other. Katie, that's what I think.
It's science that we should be investing money into. NASA, stop going to space. We got to figure out why docs and whole new worlds are so clumpy.
Or what you got to do is, like, when you make your deck, just don't put cards of likeness to side by side. Just count them separately and always store them separately, and they'll never stick together.
Don't let them get to know each other.
Don't let them get to know each other. Keep them separate. Keep them separated. I think Offspring taught us that, and we just kind of we forgot their messages too.
We did, but we are seeing value being. We are seeing. If you see us go, it's because God is speaking to us, and He says weird things. But yeah, we see Jeff Jones stabilizing. He's had some devastating things happen, and yet here he is at 7 lore. Now, knowing that he docked means he has 1 card in hand, and now that young lady's not going to be singing it. Cinderella's gone. So I do think that Sasuke has a little bit of benefit here, knowing that he can still draw some cards, even right now with this broom, if he so chooses to.
But I think you haven't had the opportunity to sing any or something. Did he sing that song? Yeah, the White Rose sang that strength, and now the broom is going to be redeployed. So you are trying to just keep that tempo up. This mine is kind of running away with it a little bit. It's gained quite a substantial bit of lore, and now you have this dock that's kind of camping out in there. A second mine here, and you are so back, I think. And you'll be able to do some significant damage to the fox and this broom if you can do a little mine move scenario.
Yeah, because it's something where multiple characters, it's the first time to each mine. So in theory, if you had 2 mines, you could go technically to both, right? So you could do 2 damage in 1 turn.
The old patent pending mine situation. It's
what they yearn for.
They yearn in the mines. There you go. Take that with your travels.
Take that. I will take it wherever my travels are.
Wherever your travels lead you, take that with you on your journey. In the mines, Sorry, there it is.
1 million diamonds shine. Anyway, dig, 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 dig. But fun fact, Diggy Hole has nothing to do with the song Dig, Dig, Dig. That is offensive and upsetting. And as a Disney adult, I was excited that Lorcana had embraced Disney a little bit. And they said, no, actually, we embrace a Warhammer video from 2007. And I was like, oh.
That was a bit disappointing. And I'll go even further. Like some of our decks that we've had come out in the past year, some of the creative names that we had, the fact that they have nothing to do with Disney it's a bit depressing. It's a bit disheartening, I would say. We gotta get that cleaned up, like some of the things that we have.
Now I will post it on it. We have in the diggy 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 hole. We can do that, and that's kind of fun. But
that's kind of off
in
the
the
lyrics
diggy
though.
hole.
It says tiki tiki tiki
where
tiki.
the mind's ping for damage, and the lore is gained in the diggy 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 hole. It's now you guys are probably going go to the tiki room. You guys, there's no way. I bet like 90% of the chat's like, "What's the tiki room?" Kids these days.
I love it. I'm a big tiki room supporter. It is kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, Katie. Tiki room kind of but you gotta go there.
But yeah, it's like mid in the way that like, there's some foods you eat. Like it's mid in the way that like KFC's macaroni and cheese is mid.
Sisu on Ice. What do we think on Sisu on Ice as a YouTube chat? Okay.
It's quite nice. Yeah. I mean, I just already
as a name. I think it's fitting because it fits the name. It kind of, but it's too direct. I think because it has Sisu in it.
Yeah, but think about Disney on Ice. That's an iconic Disney establishment that many people across America can only experience Disney through on Ice. But we did learn that was the B name. The real name was like Ruby Frozen Rubies, and I was like, uh-oh. So
I think Sisu on Ice is quite clean as a name.
It is
because it's very direct, but it's a little bit too literal for me. We gotta get a little bit
oh no,
metaphorical. I would say.
Someone pointed out that kiwi birds would make more sense than in the tiki room. I mean, it does. Yeah. We'll see. Either way, there is a game happening, and we have seen Jeff Jones pretty much use one card per turn to do some good stuff and build up some board presence here.
Look at this Chien Po though. Chien Po, story of the day. This guy's in his time in the sun as he's up there exerted, able to withstand this Madam M Fox, and potentially, unless you got crab, throw a crab on it and then throw a bird on it and be able to go 1 for 1, ban for ban on this Chien Po. As we got a nice song being sang by the Madam Mim, who's going to put 4 damage probably into the Daisy Duck, clearing that thing. We haven't really done anything yet. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, you got to go Daisy. Now Daisy is notably a wonderful holder of damage for Sweet Rapunzel. Now Chinpo, he's like, I can hold so much damage. But notably at a 4 strength, he is a little bit menacing to everybody on Sasuke's side. So. Do you ignore it? Do you just kind of do your own thing? Jeff is at 11 lore, so you kind of really can't ignore it too much.
I think Chien Po is a phenomenal card in this strategy. Just for those reasons, I've seen someone put a Chien Po into a Rapunzel's tower, and it was just devastating to try to get through that in any type of equitable fashion. You're going to lose something in that exchange. As Chien Po is going to be able to tee off onto this Madam M Fox. Check that. Never mind. As Fox is going to get bounced back. We're sitting at about 6 frames per second there as it does get through.
I do notice on any stream, like I was watching Southside Games, there's something about a powerful play that makes the camera go, ugh. Like it doesn't matter who your internet is. It's something about the power of Lorcana that can cause any camera, any internet.
Oh, and we do go ugly early and elect to go ahead and send some 2 characters into the Chien Po that go and the Rose, and then you're able to redeploy the Fox after bouncing the snake and clear the dock. What a dynamic turn coming in from Sasuke, who is going to be able to put the 1-cost Chernobog back up onto the field of play. Now I got nothing but a Lilo to support your situation. What a change of events.
Yeah, Lilo not so happy to be by herself. We do have 1 card in hand. And Calhoun is nice. I mean, Calhoun is definitely, as long as we don't see any dreaded Zeuses, Calhoun may live to put some pressure on that Sasuke. So let's see what he has here because, a Zeus would be absolutely devastating.
And we are going to go ahead and crack the Chernobog to draw 1 card. And this is a 4-piece. Maybe this is that Zeus you're talking about, Katie. Does he have it? Did he get to it?
He does. He said, I would love to do that. So he does. He pays out of pocket. and says, I will send both of yours. We shall challenge Lilo, and then he has no choice but to say, I guess I play the Lilo and another
Twins.
Lilo.
Twinning is winning, says Lilo. As we got double dip the Lilo on the board as the Madam M, or excuse me, the Merlin Rabbit is going to come on down. Can't really do too much. You got to keep sending. That is a good Lilo. That's a good use of 2 ink to just actually get a plus value here.
I will note that sometimes Lilos feel a little futile, but knowing that removal's not infinite on Sasuke's side, and I mean, in this case, we got a Mr. Smee. It is kind of nice. Sometimes it feels kind of oppressive against things with like Rush and all that, but in this case, he might be able to get some value here, and just 1 or 2 quests is really all he needs at this point.
Yeah, these Lilos are looking fantastic in this spot. Usually they're looking subpar, especially with the release of Maui Half Shark. These Lilos kind of fell way, way, way down in usability, but now these Lilos seem phenomenal as Sasuke is just gonna have to scramble through the deck, grab a couple more cards, pop in his broom, hit haphazardly, just got to do it to make something happen, and you got to send this rabbit into the Lilo. And you can just respawn. Look at these Lilos. You've been Lilo locked. Say that 4 times fast.
Yeah, and I think the inevitability is going to be hard here because now he's about to quest for, so we're going to get 4 on the board right off here. And do you have enough to clear all of this? Not easily. That's not Steel's greatest strength.
Yeah,
is just wiping a board, unless he's one of the brave souls that says, you know what I love? Grabbing my sword.
And Monstro the whale is not out just yet, so you're gonna have to go for an Elsa here. You didn't get to it. You got to bounce. We'll send into the Shmee, but the penny is ready. Maybe you got some ink for an Elsa.
Excuse me.
Who had resist? Did we?
Yes, Penny. Who had resist? That's such a good question.
From the penny deployment. I guess it doesn't matter because they are all banished. I don't remember who had to resist, but it looked like those Lilos seemed like they were just extra strength Tylenol Lilos. They were strong.
Penny gave me resist, so which is good because then I mean, I guess it kind of playing the odds of how many removal songs do you reasonably have. I'm so afraid that one of them is going to get like a salacious text because they got their phones out here today. In no case, Sasuke says, you know what? I will never drop my phone. I never will.
What are your thoughts on no case gang? Are you no case gang?
I will say that like whenever like I go to clean my phone, there's a moment where I feel it in my hand. I'm like, that's nice. Like that's a nice gadget without a case. But I throw my phone more than I think is necessary. I don't do it on purpose, but that phone is airbound. So
I got a huge win the other day. I dropped my phone right on the face. And it had a crack across the screen. But fortunately for me, I had one of those protective screens on the front piece of it. And it just broke that and not my actual screen.
You said, haha, take that. Whatever cosmic forces.
So I need case and extra screen. I wish I had a case for my case. I wish I had a double case for my phone.
Yeah, just put it in like a lunchbox, a see-through lunchbox and carry it. Now, Sasuke, we see here doing what could only be called the chaotic pile shuffle. Just really kind of fluffling it around. And I think that this match, I don't think Sasuke, I think the Lilos did a lot of heavy lifting. And I do think that Sasuke on the play here is going to have probably a little bit of a better time. But I do think that Jeff Jones's deck, Jeff Jones, see, I'm doing it. It's fun. Someone in the chat said double sleeve the phone. Honestly.
I might do that. But I got a question for you though, Katie. What do you think about this unique aesthetic as both of these Illumineers are sitting here with the stitch matte blue sleeves? Thoughts?
I like it. I mean, it shows that they said they can't be mad because they're like.
Was this pre-planned, you think, or is this a chaotic universal coincidence?
It's. I think Stitch people. You know how Stitch people are.
Yeah.
People who like Stitch are just pretty weird. So what are you gonna do about it? But I bought one of these mats. I didn't win it because like, come on. But I bought the second place one and I've never opened it because I'm too afraid someone will be like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know why someone would say that. It's so weird that someone would be like, oh, you got second place. And if it's stolen valor, they'll kick me out and I can't handle it.
I mean, it's just like, man, you know what it is. I don't know. But Sasuke notably does not have the champion on there. That is the second place, Matt.
I mean,
and No
People
one's.
are
I don't think
voting.
people do that. Well, people, hey man, you got this, man. I just assume people want it, and I just
Well,
don't
it's like
question it.
though it's like when they cut up a credit card in movies because it declined. Like, first off,
Yeah.
that's crazy. When people, why would you do that to somebody? Cut up their credit card, and be like, hey, it declined. Anyway, but maybe yeah, they cut up your playmat. Although that's actually in the
That's a
zeitgeist.
trend.
People
That's a
people do
trend.
be cutting up playmats these days.
Is that Yu-Gi-Oh player Jeff Jones? That is not Yu-Gi-Oh player Jeff Jones.
Oh my
I
gosh, we
I
got
don't-
Jeff Jones everywhere.
I don't think so. Is it though? We'll find out. We'll ask. I'm
His
fairly
player card
confident
didn't
that is not Shonen Jump champion Jeff Jones.
Oh wow, there's a Shonen Jump champion, Jeff
There
Jones.
is. There is. Or YCS champion, or Shonen Jump champion, Edison Shonen
From
Jump
the
Edison?
Shonen Jump.
YCS Edison.
From the
He's a-
Shonen Jump Street.
He's like a professional broadcaster. I think he's on another level. I don't think he's going to be here in the ICL. He might. I don't know. But he's getting that real Konami pub there, so I doubt he's going to be here.
J Bomb
With us.
says my mom and I don't know how I feel about that. My mom would hang out with Jeff Jones when we were like 13. So was Jeff Jones?
Come on, Katie. Jeff Jones's mom would hang out with J Bomb's mom, not Jeff Jones hanging out with J Bomb's mom.
I don't know. Well, Ed, I'm already cooked because Ed says Katie no SJC. Well, first off, I was just like, whatever. I need to focus on this game.
Chernabog.
Like, yeah, you hang out with my mom. I'm like, oh my god.
Chernabong's on the board, and he's out. And we got a Smee. Smee for Smee.
Oh, beautiful. You love to see a turn to Smee. I'm sorry, J Bombs, to know what happened.
It's his anniversary, Katie. Okay, he doesn't need that kind of.
He doesn't be like, oh yeah, it was fun. They just hang out while I was playing. J Bombs, I'm so sorry. So we are gonna see here what we're gonna play on turn 2 to keep up. Oh, that's
Doc on
literally
2.
the most criminal turn 2 you could possibly ever have. It is a desperation. It is.
Would you play a card in your deck that was an uninkable 2/1/3 that does nothing?
If everything else is uninkable, like I mean, if he has 3 other uninkables in his
I mean,
hand,
and if all things considered, in your deck, would you include that card into your deck? Probably not. An uninkable 2 cost 1/3.
yeah, I mean, true. The fact that he is, and there's a lot of cards like that. Notably in set 8, Ranger Far, there's so many cards that you don't want to play at the cost they are. There's so many 1-cost cards. Where you're like, well, I'm not playing this
On
at
one.
the time I'm prescripted to. Same with Penny. Penny's a card where it's like, well, yeah, it's a 2 cost, but I'm not playing that.
And they made them like double-edged swords. So they make them like shift targets and stuff, which is like, come on, man, let's wake up, dude. Let's be real, okay, for a second. As we have the Pete on 3, so Pete on Pete, and the best answer to a Pete is going to be a Pete because now his Pete's going to be able to sing, and your Pete cannot. Do you have another Pete? No Pete for you.
I will say that there is something going on here that I can't do, or I have a Daisy and I don't use her for 2 turns. Like, that is hard for me because, I mean, I guess maybe he's waiting for that Chinpo magic, but
I think you just can't quest the Daisy because this Amethyst Steel plays so many characters. If you quest the Daisy, you're going to be giving them the foxes. You're giving them the this and the that. I think you just need that on the board to boost up your strength and have your songs hit a little bit harder and potentially set up potential. What am I saying? Rapunzel traps for the Daisy. That's his main thing. I don't think you're questing with this thing. As the guard dog's in, maybe you do now. I don't know. And there
So
it is.
yeah.
The strength.
So you got that strength saying, here, you can have a card on your way out as a treat. And now I shall quest, which, yeah, I mean, like you said, this does make it where the math is a little bit different. Now we do have 2. Ooh, he gets the dock when you want it. When do you want dock? Literally any turn other than turn 2. But now,
unless you have 2 on your hand right now, probably got more docks just waiting in the wings.
now someone said, do you know if Jeff is playing the just-in-time variant? I don't think so. We haven't seen any big dudes, and we haven't seen just-in-time. So I would guess probably not. Because I mean, do you ever run just-in-time unless you want something really cool to be just-in-timed with?
Right. You got to have a 5-cost dude that you're willing to get down super fast. And I don't think that's what you're trying to do, as the Schmeagle is going to go ahead and get bounced. And now the punish is going to be imminent, as the Madam Fox is going to clear the Daisy Ducks with the greatest of ease. And now you have to look back on exerting. You could have kept it in hand. You gave your opponent a free with the 2 lore. Would you play a card that says, gain 2 lore, give your opponent a dock, and banish this card? Probably not.
No. No, that card, I'd say, who made that card? I'm going to read that again. So we talk about getting most value out of your cards, and yeah, right now we are not seeing Jeff Jones, notable not Yu-Gi-Oh player, because we just had someone in the chat ask again, is that Jeff Jones? My goodness, what a name.
You know what? Let's just start the nasty rumor that it is Jeff Jones. Actually, the Jeff. This is Shonen Jump Edison winner Jeff Jones in the ICL on a Wednesday.
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness! Triple docking.
Why this poor man, Jeff Jones? This is actually cursed Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones, Doc Summoner. Yeah, and 1/3 is such a bummer of a card because it's not going to do much. It's not going to even sing. It's a really rough card in any scenario other than getting 2 cards. So
and Pete can just easily just house all these guys, or this Elsa can just completely just remove one of these docs, no problem with Pete assists. Let's see if that's what we're going to do as Elsa exerts doc. And we're going to strength again. We're singing to blow up the Pete.
And now it's just 3 docs that are like, we are nearly useless together. Oh, why not? Get rid of another one.
We are useless. Oh, sorry. That's
yeah, they're all saluting because they're like, I'm going down with the ship. But it's not over. It's just going to be hard because, I mean, we know he drew 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. And they better be some really good ones, you would hope, as this Smee is looking like he is either preparing to be bounced or potentially about to quest for the rest of his existence in this game. Jeff Jones, is shuffling, and we're going to spam and flood empty-handed, putting a bunch of lore in play before passing it back on over, setting yourself up for Rapunzel off the tizzy. Can you get to it? Are you good enough?
I hope so, because we did see Sasuke is very afraid of the Rapunzel traps. So knowing that Mr. Jones does not have any songs in his hands currently, he can't do any of the self-Rapunzel trapping. So we'll see how cautious he is on this turn. Will he say, go ahead, turn your stuff sideways? Because once he does, then kind of the gig's up and he can do some quick work of the board on the other side.
It looks like he's gearing up for another strength here, which is just devastating. So blasting Lawrence there right out of the sky. Or off the ground, as it may be, and then you got a free to quest. And Storm as well.
I think you have to make Jeff Jones feel sad that he was like, you know what? I think there's a way out of here. And Sasuke said, I don't see any doors. There's no windows and no doors, which offers you this dismay.
Oh man! And we had the fox as well to recover the Smee, and you can play the Smee back, I believe. No. I might be missing something.
He can because he has 2 wings. So I mean, he did literally everything that Jeff. I bet if Jeff says, "I have a list of things I don't want to happen," he said, "I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to get rid of everything you've ever hoped for."
And you know what that last? You literally, and that's the worst doc that you can ever, because you gave him that doc with that Daisy quest, so you know it's going to be a dramatic doc turn next, and it's just like, I did this to myself. I feel bad, and you know it's there. Like, there's no mistake that it's going to happen to you right now, and that feels quite miserable. It's Turnbox in, the doc is coming, and I might just go right on to Scoopville destination.
Yeah, just because it's painful, it doesn't feel good. And yeah, here's Doc o'clock. Get 2 more cards in here. Why not? Get another card, 3 cards, and we shall see what he plays. But honestly, that's the one thing to steal. The wider the board, especially when you have only one person that's good at challenging.
Oh, we're still singing too.
Yeah, why not? Get rid of Kyo. Sasuke's being certainly Yu Uchiha in this situation. I know he says that he didn't actually name himself after this because of Uchiha clan. He said it was related, but not necessarily directly related. But this is some Sasuke behavior.
Yeah, if I'm Jeff Jones, I'm actually kind of scooping out of here. I'm saving my mental faculties for the following game, and I'm just going to get back on the play. I got 1 card in hand. I got 2 docs on the field. This board is just completely massive. I'm gone, as the Storm is going to be able to take out the Smee. But yeah, I'm out of here. I'll check that card, and I agree with this take a lot. And I'm taking those docs, and I'm putting them things completely away from each other, because drawing 3 docs and then 2 docs, you got to chill with that. That's not how the deck works.
Yeah, I would say, can I sideboard these docs into just something that's blank and inkable? Because it does feel frustrating that it can save you. A doc, when you're top decking and you get a doc, amazing. But when you play a doc on turn 2 and then 3 more docs, that's just, and then knowing they can't sing, they can't really challenge, they only quest for 1. It's just, it's a rough card. He can be the greatest thing you've ever seen and also the biggest nightmare.
And but like, But you saw how good it was for Sasuke there. And I'm certain you've been on the other side of it when they're going dock into blah blah blah, dock into blah blah blah, and it just feels like okay, right when
Yeah.
you're about to win is usually when that happens, and it feels quite miserable. So you have to play the card is phenomenal, like you
It
have
is.
to play it. But just in situations like that, that just felt terrible when you have them all in your hand, just staring at you, post, alter. You're like, okay, here we go.
Can you sing something? Can you do something? And it was hard because we watched Jeff say, okay, don't worry. I got Lawrence and Piglet. And Sasuke said, no, you don't. And he said, don't worry. I got Calhoun. And Sasuke said, you don't have that either. I am so sorry to inform you. So game 3 is going to be different though, because as we saw, Jeff Jones has a ton of synergy, a ton of ways. We haven't even seen him fire off for Rapunzel. So maybe he doesn't have it, but
This might be the chance. This might be the time. This might be the moment. We'll see as the draws are coming up, and it all comes down to this: the ICL on a Wednesday, going to a game number 3 of a match number 3 of 2 players with a game 3 depending winner go home, loser also probably going home. I don't think any of these teams are going to make it to the postseason, but your bragging rights are on the line here. 2 Stitch matches, 2 blue sleeves. Who is going to be the best Stitch player? Find out.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Keep it locked. Don't touch that dial.
Who gets ice cream on the drive home? Only one of them gets to.
Yeah.
If you don't play your cards right, then you have to sit in the car. You don't get any ice cream. You have to go to bed when you get home.
Do you do that? Do you do that when you lose a set championship? Do you like punish yourself like that?
I just have a hard time listening to fun music because I'm like, I don't think losers get to have fun, and so I like to just kind of maybe listen to NPR. Maybe listen to about like how like there's an oil crisis somewhere.
I'll agree. I agree with that. I think whenever I lose, I don't listen to the radio and I roll the windows down. And I drive home.
You just need to take in life. Yeah. But now I will say there was one person, Commissioner Wonder, no. Producer Wonder, not your producer Wonder, said it's going to be a tie. So will this match last 30 plus minutes? And they're like, listen, we want to make Wonder happy.
That would be insane. If
I said happy and then Happy played. How magical was that?
If he called the 1-1-1 tie, that's a huge parlay. That would be a hit. I think that would have been sick. If you can call the 1-1-1, I think that's a big hit. But I doubt that's going to happen. These decks are very fast, so I highly doubt that would happen. As Happy is on the board, Chiempo down to the Inkwell. We're playing with a little bit of speed, as he has the burst of speed. Is going to be able to give him evasive. So now the Calhoun is going to be up and active as well, checking down this Diablo. So we have kind of seen a bit of this in the previous rounds. I would say a little bit Diablo, a little bit Calhoun. It all comes around to this.
I will say, I mean, turn 2 Calhoun, what a wonderful time, because turn 5-6 Calhoun, she doesn't have a lot of time to be with us, but this is the perfect time for a Calhoun because it does keep the pressure on. Now, notably, he did go ahead and yeet that Diablo by just flying him into that Happy. Is that he sacrificed him like that?
No. He just did a little snake bounce, a little snake mambo.
Okay, good. Thank you. I thought he just said goodbye, but yes, you're right. He bounced it back.
little bounce, little snake bounce. As we will go ahead and redeploy the Pete inking the friends. Interesting choice of ink there.
Yeah, he could have inked that little bird, but instead he did the friends, which makes you believe he has 2 friends. We'll see.
For sure. I would love to see that Diablo get down to the inkwell, hang on to that friend so you could potentially sing it with this Pete to maybe you're setting up your strength play coming in on the next turn as well. So there's a lot of little gamesmanship. Getting that whoever gets the best strength off first is going to kind of zap the other person's tempo. And let's see who it's going to be. Sasuke, maybe go Diablo, 1 cost, sing, blast. Potentially.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Just ripping, huh? I think that's what Sasuke is setting up for. And I think Jeff Jones has to kind of notice that is something that Sasuke might be alluding to with that ink. The inking of that friends was very, very telling, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the fact that he said, Diablo, I need to keep you safe. Friends, get in the inkwell. It's curious, but now they're definitely both in a standoff because, Happy, that's whatever. But that Calhoun wants to wait till something's exerted because both Pete and Madam M are happy to make sure Calhoun gets home.
So I'm not sure whose turn it is right now, as we're both kind of just hanging out here. Maybe they're having a little discussion with each other, just trying to figure out some things. Maybe something happened. I see the players gesturing and or postulating towards one another, staring down, just trying to get a little quick count of the ink.
Maybe they're pointing out how many characters on the board have stripes, and they're like, "Well, I have 2. You have 1." Right? It's tough to say.
Stripe meta. Madam and Snake has stripes.
All right. So he said, I agree with you. Whatever we said here, it worked out. And we are actually going to play the mine. At first I thought it was inking it. No, we're getting that mine out there and ready to start pinging around for some damage. And as long as that Happy's upright, he's fragile at a 2-1, but he can deal. Nope, he's gone.
He's gone.
I said that, and Sasuke said,
you did have 6. You did have 6 damage. You could have taken it out. Maybe that's what your opponent wanted you to do, so you didn't do it. And also you play the Foxes as well, as Pete and Diablo are going to be deployed. So you do have enough for a pretty sizable strength next turn, as we'll probably just put 3 into the location now. Interesting. What do you think about playing that mine here in the face of this? I think I'm inking those mine. I don't know how good they are in this strat or in this matchup.
Yeah, especially because a lot of these bodies are going to be, 3, 5. I mean, it's fine to get rid of things like Diablos, but yeah, knowing that it was, hey, Happy, you can do it, and Happy literally got shot out of the sky the minute that mine was deployed. It can slow you down a little bit, but it's certainly not going to be a game-winning card, I don't think.
I think you got to have it in a turn where you can play it and immediately get the ping damage from it. And have it be high impact too, is maybe couple it with a challenge or something. But now you got the Snake Exerted, which was a part of your plan. I'm certain that's kind of what you wanted him to do, but you have this very problematic Diablo as a countermeasure. So you got to really think about not getting blasted by a crab. Also, conserving your 2 characters. You got another, get out of town. Holy moly, donut shop. That is misery incarnate. Katie, did you see what just happened?
Holy moly, donut shop. I mean, it was a lot to process.
Oh no. You could at least sang one of them with the Pete, but that's not clearing anybody. Yeah, he sang one with the Pete and didn't move. He had 3 string storms in hand, and he had to kick them all for that dock. So he was completely bricked, uninkable. I think there's a world where you could sing one of those with that Pete and then move something over to pop something pretty sizable there. But I'm mad.
Yeah, because I mean, you do want to get at least any value you can out of these cards, because like we've seen, Doc is great when he draws the good cards, but he doesn't always. So yeah, being able to just sing one to just get just a little bit, one card, I think would have been nice. But maybe he's like, I'm so mad at these 3 cards, get out of my sight. I don't even want to know what you could have been.
Yeah, that was just, as you could tell, that's some signs of I'd be tilted because he's drawn pretty poorly in all 3 of these games so far, and he hasn't really had the opportunity to do what the deck is known to do. Like the typical diggy doesn't diggy this way. I've seen diggies dig a different way. You're digging a different whatever.
Yeah, you gotta, sometimes you diggy do and sometimes you diggy don't.
He's diggy don't right now. This is diggy not.
Yeah, I mean, notably, Sasuke's only at 1 lore, but Sasuke has the benefit of not panicking with the amount of cards he has. And there goes that mine. So Doc will not be headed to that mine right now. So what do we got? We got 3 cards, I believe. Or unless he inked after he played Doc, but I don't believe he did.
I think he just might be hanging on to those same 2. We got the stare down commencing. Board is getting bulky again in this next round. We can kind of see the hand a little bit. You might have to hold that hand up for Jeff Jones. And yeah, for you that watch home, that is the Jeff Jones.
It is.
Oh, he played Pete. Oh, I'm sorry. He played Pete that turn. So my bad. I did miss that portion. So he was not able to sing the storm rage on. That's what happened. There was a Pete. I'm trolling. I'm actually trolling. He is not that Jeff Jones.
Sorry, we have J Bomb's mom in the chat asking if that is the Jeff Jones. And
Dang,
that's not true. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry, J Bombs. You don't deserve that. You're a really nice person.
J Bomb is going to tackle you when you guys finally meet.
I would deserve it, honestly. I would deserve it. Anyway, so we do see once again the pain, the destruction, where Jeff Jones says, I would like to play a card, and literally everything that Sasuke does is, I won't even let you have a moment of joy. I don't even let you see if you're going to play something cooler.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get rid of everything on site immediately.
Yeah, so this is just it's starting to go downhill again for
Did he just scoop?
I might. I wouldn't
I think
yeah, I think he's done.
And it makes sense because I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I have a hard time with the diggy hole deck is when you're cooking, you're like,
Usually
I'm
left the
Master
Storm
Chef,
Rage
get
on,
me
and
on
I
Top
was fine,
Chef.
but then
But
you
then
played
when
the
it
second
runs
Pete,
out of gas,
and I
you feel
specifically
silly.
left
I
the
don't
Pete
I don't
back
hate
because like
I don't
on
hate
the,
that scoop
if
at
you
all.
hadn't played the second Pete, then I had
But it is
like
time to go
2
talk
chances to
to
draw cards.
Alright,
and,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
find
champion
ink,
Jeff
but,
Jones
like,
and
ugh.
Sasuke.
All right, let's do it. I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that was the whole
um,
point. I had the double Pete in my opening hand.
All right.
Oh.
Gentlemen, the Battle of the Stitch was taken down by Sasuke. And what a match, though. It was an interesting match. We'll get to you in a second, Sasuke. But Jeff Jones, man, you got to shuffle that deck, man. Holy, talk about some bad draws. But it is what it is, and that's how it goes. Taking nothing away from Sasuke, who is going to get it done this time. So Sasuke, congratulations on your victory, coming out with that Amethyst Steel. Is that your new pet project for this set 7 meta, or is that something you're going to hang on to going on into set 8? Just talk about Amethyst Steel really quick, and any text that you might have in your unique strategy.
Sure. So I mean, I've been playing Amethyst Steel since set 2. It's kind of like one of the main brains behind the set 2 kind of core concept of Amethyst Steel, and I've kind of tried to keep that core concept in that it's very mid-rangey, very much relies on Strength of a Raging Fire, Let the Storm Rage on, as well as Zeus to get control of that early board against aggressive decks, and then in the mid-range just be able to overwhelm them. And then, against the decks that are slower than you, you have enough early game in those 12 1-drops plus the Smees to just kind of go under them. So
Okay. In this matchup, though, typically, does it go this way? This diggy hole seems like it's more of a 50-50 matchup than it alluded to be. What are some of your keys to victory when you find yourself against this very aggressive Amber Steel strategy?
So here in game number 3, just double Pete really just kind of took complete control of the game because he was on the play. So it means that I cut off not only his turn 4, but his turn 5 as well. So it wasn't even until his turn 6 that he would have been able to cast spells. And then from there, I mean, you saw I just had complete control of the board by the time he was able.
It was
quite.
It
So
was
Pete's
quite
really the main.
Pete is the answer. I think we did allude to that in the pregame show. Katie was here and she plays a lot of Amber Steel, and we thought about that too. Maybe Pete was the path, and Foxes were also quite strong. Katie, anything else you saw from Sauce's perspective before we bring in the Jeff Jones to see what exactly went wrong there?
I mean, one of the things I wondered is I've seen library. Have you ran that card? Do you find that the card having both rabbits makes it a little easier to get that card draw?
Yeah, I mean, library is a great card. It's just I don't know. In my core list, I just don't have room. I think there's plenty of builds that run library that are completely viable, and I think they've probably had better tournament results than me too. So I think library is a great card. I just don't have room for it in my personal list.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Champion. I'm just kidding. Jeff Jones, how often do people ask you, are you the Jeff Jones? And do you respond with yes? Because why would you have to explain that you're some other Jeff Jones? And you're like, I am the Jeff Jones. I'm Jeff Jones.
Normally people would just like, at this point, they're like, are you that Jeff Jones? And I know what they're talking about, but I just say yes anyway.
Well, because it's true. You are Jeff Jones. And I think that
that's
right.
I am not lying.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, what an imposterous thing to ask somebody. You're like, yes, I am the Jeff Jones. Thank you very much. But we did see you on Diggy Hole, and it is a deck that, it can be very explosive, as we saw in Game 1. But wait, yes, Game 1. Or no, Game 2? Either way, it one of those decks can be very powerhouse, but it can struggle with card draw. So share with me a little bit about kind of the pros of this deck, and are there any cards that you're desperate to put in now that set 8 is almost legal?
Ladies and hamsters, really.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. I've played that variant, and I'm like, I don't even need the mine anymore. But I don't know if people still.
Funny story. I've been off mine like all champ season. We threw it in tonight because it was bad against like red blue and the red purple evasives deck. We didn't think anybody was going to be on red blue, but their sub came in with it, so like it felt like a good call. Honestly, I feel like that was not a good call. yeah, like it didn't. It normally I feel like it's usually pretty good in this matchup because you just get to ping all their little dudes that they try to flood the board with and keep them off, flood targets. But you need ink to do that.
Right.
Yes.
And we did notice that you had some issues with your brick ability as I'm calling. You had a lot of docks on docks and you had a lot of storms on storms. What's going on with your deck, man? Are you shuffling or what's happening there?
She's just mad at me. Took those mines out and put them back in, and it was like, how dare you?
Yeah, we did see this. The storms and the docks were clumping. I'm like, hey, can you guys spread out? And they're like, but we're friends, and that's never a fun feeling. But
Your friends
on
are
your
in the
side,
party.
yeah, right. As they're all, it's kind of when you have parties, everybody's hanging out in their corners. Guys, let's mingle. But yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
My opponent's songs were all hanging out together, and it seemed to work out just fine.
yeah. Well, I guess that's true. There's some cards that you're like, well, you guys can hang out. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, it was a great match in the sense that both of you were heating up until unfortunately, Sasuke was pretty oppressive with some of those plays, just saying no over and over again to everything you had. But do you have any final questions on your side, JDZ?
Oh, I don't. I think it's I think I just enjoyed the matchup. I enjoyed the ICL and 20 Lore Pro coming in and getting the win at the end of the season to go out with the dub. I think that's a good way to put a bow onto their performance. I thought that was well done. Shout out to Sasuke, shout out to 20 Lore.
Yeah, and we will go ahead and do our shout
Thank you.
outs or where people can find and follow you on your journey. So we'll start with you. Sasuke, do you have anyone that you'd like to shout out or any place that people can find and follow you?
Sure. First off, let's shout out to the casters, both JDZ and Katie. You can find them on their respective Twitch channels. I think it's Katie at the Lore Keepers Inn, and then
Oh.
JDZ
Yeah, just
Quest at
type that
JDZ
around.
Quest.
Oh,
I
thank
like
you.
this. We just doing our work for us. We're clocked out.
And then also, if you guys want to be able to find me, I do stream.
Oh, wow.
I've recently started streaming to Kick, and
You cut off.
So I stream
when
on
you started
Twitch.
Shout out yourself. Okay, there we go.
Okay, I stream on Twitch, and then I recently started streaming on Kick, so we'll see how that does. And then also you can find me on YouTube, all at Sasuke TV.
Let's go. All right. And they want to kick it on over to the Jeff Jones, who the real and non-imposter Jeff Jones.
Our
Any
favorite
shout outs
Jeff
you want to give? The floor is now yours.
Yeah, just want to shout out to my team. Glad to be part of it. They do great things, and it's an honor to play for them. We get to rep the team. I'd like to thank Luke and all the guys, JD's, Katie, all you guys that put this together. This is a great experience, and I'm glad we get to do it. And I don't exist online. I don't have any social media presence, so sorry, everybody.
No need to
I
apologize.
love that. So then you got to go find Jeff Jones in the wild.
The Jeff Jones, the actual real Jeff Jones. But
yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me in my house asleep. I ask that you don't.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's smart. They say if you want to find me, this is where, but please do not find me. And that's that's fair.
Let's go. All right, but gentlemen, I'll let you guys go so you can enjoy your wonderful evening that you have. And again, thank you both for your participation, coming in, supporting the ICL with your gamesmanship. We all enjoy it vigorously. So maybe we'll see you guys into the next season. I think this might be it. And hopefully we'll see you guys on the next time. Until then.
Thanks.
All right.
Did I do it?
Here.
Did I do it right? Did I hit all the buttons? JDZ, can you hear me?
I got it fast. I did it.
Me
I'm
too.
back.
That's honestly, we deserve some kind of award for best able to click buttons after 40,000 games.
It's hard, man. I'm trying to tell you, Katie, it's not easy. It's not easy being cheesy. All right.
But yeah, but what a night. I'm glad 20 Lore, they scored with the 20 Lore, and I'm not happy for them. And Inknights, I'm so excited to see what they do next because they've got a lot of great players on their team.
They got the dub. I'm happy. I'm happy for them as well. But Katie, I'm happy for you. I know you got some big stuff happening in the future. I'm sure that you're gonna. Well, maybe I don't know. Whatever. But
I will say that I did look at my calendar and I was like, what do I got going on? And I realized I have a tournament every weekend for a month. And I didn't realize that till tonight. And I'm like, I should keep a planner. So that's a shout out to planners, Hobonichi, Google Calendar app, the calendar that's native to your phone. Use them. There's no cure to ADHD, but maybe one day. But yeah, looking forward. There's some exciting tournaments coming on 20LorePro. They're going up to Wisconsin, to Appleton, Wisconsin. That's not so good. That wasn't such a good accent. But I'm excited. So,
Excellent.
so yeah, keep your eye out on the airwaves, and you've got stuff coming up, don't you have?
I do. I
You're
do.
going. You're
I
mobile.
will.
You're up and active.
I will not be here for ICL on a Friday. That's a big bummer. Maybe I can do a teller ICL from Baltimore, where I'm going to
From the
be at.
hotel room.
I'm going to be in Baltimore this weekend. I'm going to be supporting the Ink Invitational in person. I'm going to be in the flesh. So you guys keep the WCC up. Also check out Garrick's Lorcana Lair. He's going to be on YouTube and on Twitch, and I will be supporting him on his channel. That tournament's going to be great. It's a lot of talented players that are going to be there. So go there, support, and we're gonna rock out and roll all weekend long. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm excited for everything that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got the World Championship coming up very, very soon. I'm losing sleep getting ready for that. So it's going to be an absolute vibe. Lorcana is alive and well, and I'm super duper excited. But it all starts here at the ICL. So ICL on a Friday, we got another outstanding set of matches coming your guys' way. I will not be here. Maybe Katie will be here, rocking and rolling, going coast to coast, and it's going to be an absolute spectacle. So I'm excited for that. But you guys can find me, JDT Quest, on everything. Check me out. Follow me on YouTube and on Twitch, where I stream almost every day except for today. But I think we're about to wrap up, Katie. I think that's the
I
night.
think we are. Yeah. I mean, we all got. Oh, we're gonna
Let's
raid.
go.
Is it Sisu, the beloved member of Freedom Gaming? Sisu.
Let's
Wow.
go. All right.
This is
Well,
very exciting. You got a special guest, guys. And by
let's
guest,
go.
I mean we're going there. So we're
All
the
right.
guests.
Well, until next time, we'll see you guys on Friday. As always, peace. We're waving.
Oh, I stopped. I was like,